Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon in every time zone that there is. We're live on the internet here from East Coast Canada for another episode of Toast to Toast AM with my friend and colleague and co host, Dave.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show. I think we are
It's
live.
wonderful to be here.
Well, that's right. We are here for our first Toast to Toast episode where we are straying from the topic of religious themes and we are wandering into some of the more fun, more other territory that art would cover, which I hope you're all along for the ride. We've worked out all the bugs, Dave. I think if there's one
Yep,
thing the last half hour has shown us is that there are no bugs
there are no bugs. Yep.
and that everything
It's
just works.
everything just works.
So
Yeah.
it's been a month.
Oh, it has. It's been too long, friend. Too long.
And too long. I had some personal business that needed to look after, some family stuff, which was
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
But how have you been?
Oh,
How's your
is it still
2020?
playing?
What's that? Who?
I thought I hear Art Bell's voice quietly. Is it?
You shouldn't.
Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Maybe I'm the crazy one.
You're crazy.
Fair enough. Don't worry about it. Sorry,
Okay.
my apology. I'm good. I'm doing really good. Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Well,
I
with
realize
that,
now I'm hearing people upstairs talking, so we're
oh, I
we're
see.
fine.
Well,
Yeah,
the same is
cold.
happening here. Bit of a party happening outside of my
brutally
door.
cold.
So,
yeah.
but
brutally
we're
cold
here,
where I
Dave,
live.
to make the party happen on the stream in
Yes,
here. This is where the
absolutely.
party is happening. So, you've had a month now.
This week, yeah, we've had a month, and we got to remember this time to kick it off with a toast.
Oh, that's right. So,
We forgot last episode.
cheers to what? To 2023 or to Mel or who we toasting?
Here's to Mel Waters.
Mel
and his
Waters.
glorious bowl.
Yum. All right. So you've had a month now.
Yep.
You're in charge, as we all know, of the business development for this channel.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
And I got some really exciting new leads for us to develop in 2023.
oh, very good, very good.
Yep. So are we? Is it ad time?
I guess it's ad time. Let's go.
Okay, I got some copy here. Paul, I am tremendously excited because tonight we have our very first returning sponsor. Now, I know there have been some doubts about the job that I've been doing as Toast to Toast Vice President of Corporate Relations. Some private messages have been sent between certain members of our staff. Some very overt messages have been sent right to my inbox. I think your volume's going nuts, Paul. And on a few occasions, these overt messages have been shouted directly into my face. Well, tonight, I'm very proud to say that Pants was so pleased with their focused advertising campaign with Toast to Toast earlier on that they have come to us exclusively to announce their incredible new upgrade to the entire Pants line. This is such a remarkable innovation that it would be fair to call this Pants 2.0. What is this amazing new addition to these near perfect tubes of fabric? Paul, tonight I'm here to tell you about pockets. Now I can see the dubious look on your face, and I'm here to reassure you, we are not talking about microwavable tubes of questionable provenance. No, we are talking about tiny cloth bags that are sewn into the inside of your pants, which can be accessed through a tiny slit cut into them. Now, our viewers are all well above average intelligence and, dare I say, sex appeal. No doubt they're wondering, why would I want to cut a hole into the side of my perfectly good pants? No doubt that they got an incredible savings by using promo code Toast to Toast when ordering them. Friends, I understand your concerns, but I promise you. Oh my goodness. There you go. Oh, this is going really. This is off to the races, Paul. We're nailing it. All right, where was I? I promise you, when you see how amazing pockets can be, you will be rushing to grab your scissors and get to snipping. Not only do pockets provide an aesthetically pleasing highlight that naturally draws the eye to your hips and or buttocks, they can be used to hold nearly anything that can be held in your hand. Keys, no problem. Loose change, not an issue. That leftover chicken wing from lunch, easily done, my friend. If you can hold it, you can cram it in a pocket. The pants DLC can be obtained at any fabric store anywhere in the world. It's in the cloud, Paul. I think I don't actually know what the cloud means or how that works. Our loyal fans have access to a very special offer. If you use promo code Toast to Toast, that's TOAST, number 2, TOAST, when ordering a left-hand pocket, you'll receive a right-hand pocket at absolutely no extra charge. So don't walk, run to your local pants dispensary to take advantage of this amazing offer today. Pockets from Pants. Yep. That's pretty good, right?
And I'm muted, but that was, So the question is now,
Yeah. That got really bad.
did
Sorry, everybody.
was the sound bad on your side?
It got really echoey there for a little bit.
Okay.
But that's because we
So-
have been just, let's open the kimono, let people know we have been having some
We've been
technical
having
issues.
sound issues today, so
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to throw you into my headphones for a sec. Riff for a minute, would you, for me while you're...
Okay. For everybody who doesn't know, James Gunn made a big announcement regarding pineapple. They are Vishanti. Yes, I am very happy about them. Ta-da! You can sort of see. And actually, you maybe probably can't see it tonight. I have a Rain, Thunder, Lightning shirt on.
Ooh, very
because
nice.
Big Trouble in Little China is, and Paul will back this up, my absolute favorite movie of all time. I love Big Trouble.
There's not even... Is there even a number 2?
Probably Empire.
Probably is a number 2, but yeah, you're it's
Yeah.
way down the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a very healthy gap. Yeah.
So we have a super chat from Timothy Harmon.
Yes. If my pants already have little bags of cloth, should I buy more bags of cloth for my pants? Yes, Timothy. Yes, you should.
You always want to have backup pockets for sure.
Yeah. What if you, something happens to your pockets? You're going to want a spare.
So are you hearing an echo at this point?
I hear no echo whatsoever. I don't know.
Very
Maybe the
good.
chat can speak up if they're hearing echo at all. But yeah.
Okay. Well, we were going to keep a bit of an eye on everything, and I also want to make sure that you can still hear Art. So we're just going to give this a quick test.
Yep.
This is incredible. Maybe somebody out
I
there.
can hear fine. I
Perfect.
assume
Okay.
everyone else can too.
Well, so tonight's we are going to be delving into the legend, as it were, of Mel's...
I would say legend. Mm-hmm.
Of Mel's Hole. It is one... It was worthy of its own Wikipedia entry, if that means anything. It's a urban legend / conspiracy theory that was born
Yep.
during the Coast to Coast show starting in 1997.
Yes. Amongst Coast to Coast fans, this is a fairly famous thing.
So the gentleman...
That's a technical term.
The gentleman who we are going to be hearing as a guest, his name is Mel Waters, and he...
Oh, I bet he was.
He has been on the
Sorry.
show multiple times. And so what we have today, Dave, is the first time that he was on.
Okay.
And
So now, if I remember correctly, and it's been a while, I haven't pre-listened to these. I never do. Um, he just called. It was the first time. It was just like basically open lines, and he just called in and started talking about his hole.
you are wrong,
And then
but okay.
I'm wrong. Okay, sorry.
So
But
he
it wasn't like he wasn't the scheduled
no
guest the
he
first
so
time. Right?
so he sent a fax.
Okay, sorry. So he sent a fax about his hole.
He sent a fax to Art.
Yeah.
And then so what we have today. Normally, I like to include like some of the color of the episode and that kind of thing, but we're just going to cut right to the chase today. We're going to get Art receiving the fax. We're going to hear some of the reaction to the fax. And then eventually they do get Mel on the line. And this was all the very first night that was on. Oh my goodness, Dave, it was almost to the day. Not quite. So it was February 21st, 1997. So, with it's a month, it's some kind of anniversary of this month.
Also, I'm jealous of Vishanti. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, well, okay.
For a number of reasons, but this particular one because he has met James Hong.
All right. Yeah, we did. The super chat went on the screen, right? Now I'm afraid that nothing's working. Oh, but also, Dave, before we jump into that, it is trivia night.
It is trivia night. We're all discombobulated tonight. We are not on our A game so far, but
So
we're having fun anyway.
Do you think that should we wait and have the first trivia question, or should we do it right away?
Do one before we just to prime the pump. Maybe we should do one.
All right, so let's do one. I am going to start this countdown here, as it were, because the game requires a countdown.
So while we're waiting for the countdown, Paul, what did you think of James Gunn's announcement? I know that
we need to describe the trivia game, Dave, and then we'll do James Gunn.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
The trivia game
is multiple choice.
Yep.
Not everybody was here last time. That's right. So there will be a question, and then there's 4 answers, only one of which is correct. So I will read the question out, but feel free to read. And then you have to type in the number, right? Don't need a indicator or number side.
No, just the number.
The number, right? So if you type in of the correct answer, and Paul has written a clever script that will actually tabulate and keep track, and we'll know there's 7 questions throughout the night. And a tiebreaker is how quickly you answer the question. So you want to answer the questions as quick as possible, but take the time to get them right. And I believe there is a prize.
There is a prize. You will get your choice of merchandise from the Paulogia merch store.
Yes, Paul will reach out to you after the show, and we will.
That's correct.
Get you hooked up.
So is that enough of an explanation? I can hit pause here.
I feel so it's multiple choice. Just put the number. So just put 1, 2, 3, or 4. Yep. Just put the number, nothing else in a comment, and it'll pick it up and go.
And Dave will. Are you going to read the answers and questions? Or are you going to let the people do it themselves?
I will read the answers and questions.
Very good. Here we go for question 1.
Founded in Roanoke in 1587 by the English, the famous lost colony was found empty, with the single word Croatoan carved as a final message. Which of the following has not been suggested as a meaning for Croatoan? 1, they found a relic of an antediluvian civilization and destroyed themselves. 2, the name of a nearby tribe of natives that the settlers gone to for help. 3, the damnable aliens are up to their old abduction shenanigans again. 4, rampant and unchecked
7
vampirism,
seconds.
possibly caused by evil snake spirits.
1 second left. Oh my goodness. Hope you guys got your answers. And that one might have been a little verbose for the time period. But
it was. Go. Maybe. I see answers popping up now, but people were maybe waiting for me to finish, which is fortunate.
Hopefully everyone was reading along. Oh, we got some tabulations.
On delay.
All right, we've got.
Oh yeah.
We've got a number of people got it correct and a number of people got it wrong. So I need to pause the game. And so that's the way the trivia goes. That's question number 1. So the answer, Dave, do you have any comment on this particular answer?
I mean, that there is no suggestion. There's all kinds of crazy theories for this thing, but there has never been a suggestion that a antediluvian, for people who don't know, your audience might actually means pre-flood, pre-Noah's
Mhm.
Ark. Yeah, that there was no ancient civilization that affected it. But the vampirism and snake spirits, that is absolutely that is a real theory. Just throwing that out there, that's a real thing. Yeah.
All right, so we are going to be every 15 minutes or so. That's how.
And if you didn't get it, don't feel like there's no guarantee that you need to get them all right to win.
No,
everybody.
because last time there was no perfect score last time, so we'll see. But yes, so we'll have another question at the bottom of the hour, and everyone can get back in it because there's not that many got the right answer, so we're all good. All right, so now we are back
right.
to
Mel's
Art Bell, and so I
reading
don't
it
want to give them too much information because we are just gonna. You don't need any backstory because Art didn't have a backstory. We're just gonna
we're
live
gonna
it.
discover this as it was originally discovered on the air.
Exactly.
All
Okay.
those years ago.
There can help out with this. Dear Art, I'm writing to you to see if I can get some help from you or your vast listening audience. I live in rural eastern Washington near the Manastash Ridge. That's Manastash, Manastash Ridge. On our property, there is a hole. Like the previous owners and the owners before them, we have been throwing our trash into the hole. Apparently, the hole has been there as long as anybody can remember. At first, I thought it was an ancient well. Anyway, the hole is 9 feet, 9 inches in diameter. There is a stone retaining wall around it, and we've put a steel door on top to keep anybody from falling into it. As I said earlier, people have been throwing their trash into the well, that's in quotes, for decades. Furniture, household trash, dead cows, building debris, you name it. The thing is that I noticed that the hole never filled up. So I got curious, actually obsessed. I began trying to measure the depth of the hole. So I emptied 3 fishing reels of about 1,500 yards of monofilament, trying to determine the depth. Soon, I was buying fishing line in bulk. So far, I've sunk about 80,000 feet of line into the hole without reaching bottom. My wife, that's 80,000 feet, folks. My wife works at a...
Any thoughts so far, Dave?
I don't know what 80,000 feet of fishing line weighs, but I suspect it's quite a bit.
So I want to look up 80,000 feet to miles.
It's what, 27,000 feet in a mile?
Wrong one. So
Americans are all laughing at us right now.
Apparently that's 15 miles.
15 miles. That's a long way down. Yeah.
And so how much does 80,000 pounds of fishing line? We need that chat GPT. Fishing line weigh. Oh, it doesn't know. All right. Well, it sounds heavy.
I imagine it would depend very much on how heavy the line is. It can
okay. Well, that'll be homework for someone in the chat. Go find out how much 80,000. No, it wasn't 80,000 pounds. It was 80,000 feet.
80,000 feet. Yeah.
That makes more sense. Anyway, well, let's continue on. We got the facts.
Local university with a geology department. We hope to get some professional scholarly help in determining the depth of the hole. As far as I can tell, there's nothing else particularly strange about the hole except for 2 other things. 1, dogs refuse to get within about 100 feet of it. Birds will not sit on the retaining wall or metal door. Another strange thing is there's no echo when you yell into it. None. Indeed, I've never heard anything hit bottom when tossed in. We once tossed in an old refrigerator and never heard it hit bottom. No crash, no splash, no crunch. I hope your listeners can help with possible explanations. I'm wondering if this...
I do not remember how deep the deepest hole in the world is. The Russians did it.
Well,
Like
according to Richard,
Korlat?
according to Richard here,
Oh.
it's 7.6 miles, and
7.6 miles
if
down.
we
the
can't
tip of
trust the
hole.
YouTube chat, then I don't know who we can trust.
It's something like that. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Carson seems to think that I think this is probably not correct.
Yo,
I don't think a pound of I don't think a oh no, actually he is right. Yes, 80,000 pounds
Yes.
of line weighs 80,000 pounds. Yes.
one of us said 80,000 instead of. Hey, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Too Young to Feel This Old. Yes, just Google fishing line question, got a bunch of Mel Hole articles. Apparently that's the
very
only
good.
it's the only person who's ever cared about 80,000 feet of fishing line.
Yeah.
All right.
Based on my measurements so far, is the deepest hole on Earth. Signed, Mel, and I've got his last name here. Thank you, Art Bell and listeners. And I thought you would enjoy hearing about that. I sure did. Perusing the mainstream news a little bit, Kenneth Starr now says he's going to stay and finish.
Oh, I just kept that little bit in there just to get the get the sense. We're in 1997 here, but
Wow.
then I fast forwarded to the open line part of the show.
I've got a caller sitting on hold. Let's caller, are you there?
I sure am.
Go ahead. Now you've got a tape, right?
Right.
You predicted that a hole would be found in the earth.
Yes. The year prior. So what you're going to hear on tape is dovetailing from my first prediction from the year before.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I made another prediction, but that's not on here. Then I said off the record, I wanted to give you that other one about the hole.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing that he has tapes that he's playing.
So,
Like holding up a tape machine to the phone. You can. This is how I prove that this was a prediction I made before. It's on this tape.
that's right. But
You can hear me holding up a newspaper, so you can check the dates.
that's right. So he was on hold, saying I predicted someone would find a hole. And yeah, now I'm gonna play you a tape to prove that I predicted someone would find a hole.
This is why I love Coast to Coast.
Last year was a swarm of air trouble. Yeah. Oh, ding, 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 ding. You're absolutely right, sir. You certainly hit that one on the head. Well, it was a toss-up, so that one I think he could record, but my other thing was I also see like a hole in the
tape,
earth
apparently.
somewhere, like an undiscovered cave or something like that. Really? It's just off the record. A portal, possibly, to the world below. But hey,
Wow.
by the way, did you hear about the Indonesia?
There you go.
Wow! Ding, 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 ding! Oh,
I recorded
very
that one.
good, very good, sir.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Well, all right, there it is.
Oh, yeah, since we
got the
didn't
whole...
record that officially, I wanted to.
I have got to interview this guy. What do you think about this? I mean, this does sound pretty weird, huh?
Well, sure.
I think I ripped part of my lip off. Oh, man. All right, sir, thank you very much.
Good talking to you.
All right, Dave.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
there you have it. Verifiable evidence.
So the backstory to that a little bit was that, I guess on the previous years, I guess Art has a call-in show where it's just predictions of what will happen in the next calendar year.
Yeah, I think usually right around New Year's.
So apparently this guy called into Art's show, tape recorded himself calling into Art's show.
Good show. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had that on hand just in case it was ever going to come up.
Ready to go. Once again, Paul, fortune favors the prepared.
That's correct. You'll also, I don't know how often it comes up, but you notice there that Art said, I think I ripped off part of my lip.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard. So
I did hear that, yep.
the backstory to that, because I have to edit these episodes a little bit. I try not to listen carefully, but I do have to edit to get the copyright stuff out. They play copyright music, as we've discussed in the show. Anyway, Art, at the start of the show, accidentally superglued himself. He got super glue. He got super glue all over himself
that pain.
during a commercial break, and then throughout the show, he seemed to be making references to things that how he had injured himself with the super glue. So if there's more of that, that's what's happening.
Yeah, as somebody who used to play Warhammer and do modeling and different things, I know the fun of having your skin super glued to your skin, and yeah.
It happened to me the other day because our bathroom fixtures in this house are not what they should be, and so I was gluing stuff together. Anyway,
super
no one
gluing?
else. No one. I was actually, yeah. No one else cares. All right.
All right, take care. All right.
In any case, a quick calculation. Our friend that called from Washington about the hole,
Oh, yeah.
that's over 15 miles deep.
You got it.
Can you believe that?
Well, I don't know if I can believe it or not. It's a very intriguing letter. There's no question about it.
Certainly is. I think it requires some further investigation.
I absolutely agree with you. Look, I'll tell you something. I've got the guy's phone number here.
Okay.
Yep. So
Yeah, well, that needs a call back for sure.
I agree with you. Yeah, this is really an intriguing letter. I would like to talk to Mel. Mel, if you're out there, how about giving me a call, Mel? Huh? I don't think I want to call Mel at this time of the morning, but obviously I'll follow up on this. So Mel, if you're out there, would you call me? Let me see. What line would be good for Mel to call in on? How about my first time caller line? Would everybody else be willing to hold up and see if Mel can get through? Mel is the guy with the hole in the ground. This is a remarkable, remarkable story. Sounds possible. So Mel, if you're out there, call me at the following number now. Area code 702 727 1222. 702 727 1222. Everybody else, hold off. I want to talk to Mel, the guy with the hole. I've got Mel on the line. Mel is the guy with the never-ending hole, and we're going to ask him about it here in a moment.
There you go.
Mel's the guy with the never-ending hole. It's not really necessarily
Yeah.
how you want to be known.
Yep. Well, we're at the bottom of the hour now.
Yeah, before we get to Mel and the call in, because obviously Mel eventually does call in. So let's do. We're ready to do more trivia.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
Dave.
we might as well do another one here.
Are you gonna
Question number
read?
2.
Are you gonna read faster?
I'll try and read faster this time.
Or everyone else, get ready now. We're coming up on the trivia question again. Trivia question number 2. Get your thinking caps. Get your chat fingers. Whatever it is you need. Off we go.
Fun fact: I tend to write too many words when I write, so you know.
All right. So don't count on Dave. Just read the screen, and off we go.
I am a wordy bitch. Is it? There we go.
Oh shoot!
We
Now
still got
I
40
had too
seconds
much
to
query.
correct
Now
that.
everyone can get your thinking caps.
Yeah, everyone just relax. Just relax.
Find your Google machines.
25 more seconds. Yes.
The nice thing is it's too fast for the Google machines.
Yeah.
Actually,
it would be. I don't know what you would
right.
even Google for these things.
No, I don't know. So the next question, I'm going to let the countdown go longer. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
Anyway, congratulations to the previous question. Correct. 10, 9. All right, we have some bugs to work out. That's fine. We're all fine.
That's fine.
Off we go.
We're growing together. According to British conspiracy theorist and author of over 20 self-published books, David Icke, what do the Merovingian dynasty, the Rothschilds, the Bush family, and the British royal family have in common? 1, they are important players in the history of the Vatican's secret war against Islam. 2, they are blood-drinking, shape-shifting reptilian aliens from Alpha Draconis. 3, they are all key pillars of the Illuminati, which originated in ancient Rome. Or 4, each of them learned how to harness the power of Q-rays via crystals.
Well done reading faster.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I know that we have there's like a full minute and a bit to answer the question, so I'm guessing the bot must give you extra time. Oh, now it's deciphering.
It's thinking.
It's
thinking.
ciphering.
It's figuring. It's crunching the numbers.
I'm seeing
Checking
a lot of 3s and 2s in the chats. A couple 4s. Timothy, I'm pulling for you on number 4.
Oh, I think it looks like most people got that one right.
Most people got that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any interesting commentary on this question?
David Icke is full on crazy, and you can do some. I mean, someday I don't know if he was ever on Coast to Coast, but boy, he's got some He's got some. You can just Google him. He's got all kinds of
just Google
good
him.
YouTube videos you can watch. He was a professional soccer player, a football player. He was a goalkeeper for Arsenal in Coventry City, and then declared that he was a son of God, and went on and just sort of went from there. Yeah,
I see. Because normally, from what I know of football keepers, as they're called, they're very level-headed. They're very level-headed. That's what I hear.
he is indeed a raging anti-Semite. You are absolutely right, Shati. Which is unfortunately a recurring theme in many conspiracy theorists. Yeah, the two
It's
seem
true.
to go hand in hand. Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't had a lot of toasting happening on the show yet.
No, it's been a quiet night. Well, we have we had a rocky start, but now we're going.
We had a rocky. Yeah, so we haven't had to say pineapple in a while, so that's good news.
Nope. Seems to be the
All right.
earbuds
Well,
have done it.
let's see if this is. Let's see if Art is now. If he's called in. If Mel is called into the.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there's okay. So there's a.
The glove was dropped.
We're part of the way there, but
Yeah.
keeping in mind this is a responsible show. We drink because we choose, not because we're obligated.
That's right.
That's right. All right.
But we choose
I've read
to do it a
that
lot.
fax now twice on the air, and I've got a lot of follow-up faxes. Here's one entitled, Yet Another Mystery Hole in Eastern Washington. Art, you'll love this.
Yep.
It was sent to me a couple of days ago by email, and it's all about another one on the Indian Reservation in Colville, where there is another
Everybody
mystery
knows all
hole.
little-
Anyway, we'll get to that. Now to Eastern...
All right, we've had a couple super chats. Just to be official here, Shannon Q had one. Dave, screw you. I'm a keeper, and she is.
And she is. And they are all weird.
And Jay Victor writes, "Would you believe that David Loke is also anti-vax?"
No,
Oh
it's
my goodness!
Ike. Yeah, David Ike.
Oh, David Ike. What did I say?
Yeah. He said
It is
Loke.
something else. All right. Oh, that's not a thing. All right. David Ike is also an anti-vax. Very good.
Washington. I guess this is Eastern Washington. Mel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
First of all, Mel, thank you for answering. What are you doing up at this time of the morning?
Well, after I sent the fax, I'm living in town here now because we had a couple of our buildings out there cave in after the big snows that we had out here last month,
Oh, yes.
and so thereby goes some of the construction debris into the hole. So,
All right. When did you discover this hole?
well, the hole has always been there. We've been out there for a couple of years now, and the hole has been there since we've been there. It's been there since the previous owner was there, and the previous owner there was quite elderly, and I'd say he was there for a good 30, 40 years before we moved in.
Wow.
And then
And so there's been a thing of throwing stuff down this hole for a long time.
it's been going on, for as long as the hole has been there, I assume.
When nobody knows that, I guess. All right. How do you pronounce the name of your town? Manastash?
Monastash.
Manastash.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
It sounds like mustache.
It does.
Thank you for being a member,
Joe Hill.
Joe Hill. Appreciate you.
Not just a member, Paul. Proud member. He brags about you to his friends.
That's
And
true, yeah. Why
actually,
wouldn't
I'm in right now. I'm in a little town called Ellensburg.
Oh, I know Ellensburg. All right.
You must know about a rodeo here, then.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, so we've been there.
I don't think Art knows about their rodeo.
You don't know he was a AM radio guy for many, many years, so you never know. He did just local radio and stuff, but probably not.
Yeah.
But maybe. I don't know.
Several
Maybe
years.
I would be agreeable to move on to the next point. Oh, sure, your rodeo. Yes.
Yeah.
We just take all of our trash, rubbish, anything we have that we have to get rid of, we take it, throw it in the hole. Everyone's throwing their stuff in the hole. The people from around there throw all the stuff in the hole. I mean, it's just been going on for a long time. Well, I got this thinking one day, how come this hole is not filling up? It must be an awfully deep hole.
That's a good thing to consider, sure, as you throw stuff in it for decades, literally.
And so, I used to be I would say pretty close to a professional shark fisherman. So I had a couple of huge fishing reels, went out there and started...
Wait, he lives. Okay, this is Washington State. Okay, it's conceivable. It's conceivable that he's a shark fisherman, I guess.
Well, but and he said he only moved there 3 or 4 years ago, so who knows where he was
Okay,
before,
gotcha.
or what Mel was doing before. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Letting the line down, I figure after one.
Did you wait the line?
Oh yeah, there's in fact the original line is still down there. I've just been adding to the line and keeping track of how much line I have used. So I've not reeled it in.
How much weight is on it?
There's a 1 pound weight at the bottom of it.
1 pound weight, all
1
right.
pound weight. It's a triangle.
Does that seem like enough? It doesn't seem like enough.
You wouldn't need a lot. It just has to keep the.
I guess so. It's just got to keep the line down. But now that we have 80,000 feet of it.
Well, I mean, that's just blatantly ridiculous.
He's been keeping track, Paul. Dave, he's been keeping track. He's got the whole ledger. He's got every time this is pre-Amazon, so he's going to the store and he's getting.
This is a giant super fun site. Yeah, he's been going to the store. He's been keeping track. He's keeping his receipts. That's right.
He's got a ledger. He's keeping track, Dave, of how much, and it's 80,000 even.
You know, we should. Well, I guess we can't play the music on here. We should have queued up the Big Sugar song, "Digging a Hole." That would have been.
Well, you can play that at home as you listen to
her. Everybody at home, go ahead and Google Big Sugar, "Digging a Hole."
YouTube won't let us do that because. And anyway, thank you, Timothy Harmon. Yes, this is a giant, super fun.
Well, so according to DP, it says 80,000 feet of fishing line weighs 5974 grams, or about 13 pounds. So actually, not that much.
Okay, that's a
whole lot of.
That's more than a human. That's more than a human head.
I mean, probably less than Andre the Giant's head.
Probably
not now, but once upon a time.
Joe Hill, a whole lot of stuff in that hole. So I'm thinking now. So this is the first time anyone in the world, well, not anyone in the world. It's not. It's the first time the world at large is hearing about Joe's hole.
I don't think Shannon's math is right, by the way. But
Mel's hole. But there are neighbors, right? So theoretically, in future episodes, if we want to corroborate this, we could be calling apparently the former owner. We could be calling all the neighbors who routinely dump their the construction crew at his house who are dumping things down there. We got plenty of witnesses.
Here's the thing. If this hole is legitimately, we'll just say, even though that's the bottom, so let's say it's 15 miles deep.
Sure.
And 9 feet across, a 9-foot diameter hole, like that volume is insane. So you definitely could.
I suppose
20 people could throw their refuse down there for years, and I do not think it would make any appreciable difference. Oh, well, there you go, Shannon. That brings it up.
Oh my goodness.
We got
We got Slack Black.
Thank you, Slack Black.
Bring the booze. Woo!
I like that name.
So now the new homework in the chat, because now we're just assigning you are all my chat GPT at this point. You are all my homework, doing homework for me. Yeah. What is the volume of a 9-foot by 15 mile hole? That's now what we want to know. Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind,
and I mean that's the conservative estimate, because he measured to 15 foot and didn't hit bottom, so it's deeper. But even that, if we say it is 15 feet deep,
that's Fireball.
Shannon brought Fireball in a fun cup.
Shannon.
It says floor.
It says floor. Oh, she can't hear you because I have earphones in.
Oh,
have you heard Dave's good news? Oh, yes, that good news we have that you're pregnant.
Yeah.
No, Dave's not pregnant. No, Dave's coming to visit. Dave's coming. Yes, that's the good news.
Take him to so many different history sites. Do your shot. Stop procrastinating.
Thank you, everyone.
I don't have a shot, but there's 3 ounces of bourbon in this glass.
Give me the shot glass back.
I'll just drink half of that straight up.
I think that was a 9-foot by 15 mile shot. All right.
Ooh.
Oh. So
it's a 9-foot radius, or it's a 9-foot diameter, so it's a circle. So we know the 9-foot diameter hole.
Is it diameter or radius? So I guess that's right. It's diameter. So it's a 4.5
9 feet across.
4.5 foot
diameter
radius. Also, he built $5 for an old English malt liquor that you must drink on the next show. So Dave doesn't just drink that. That wouldn't get you. That wouldn't get you much in Canada.
No, but I will definitely drink old English malt liquor. So I'm just going to throw an apology out. I can't remember who it was. Maybe they're in chat right now. Maybe they're not. Somebody super chatted our last show. It was an Australian fan of ours for me to drink. To like go buy some Foster's and drink it, which is Foster's being a famous beer from Australia. I've seen it. I legitimately went and looked. I couldn't find it anywhere. I can't find anyone in Canada that's still. So if you're still out there, viewer whose name I can't remember and apologize, I'm sorry, couldn't find Foster's, but I tried. I legitimately tried. Yeah. There we go. So basically 6 million cubic feet. Yeah, that's
no. I need to know what that
lot.
is. I need to know what that is in cubic meters because
it'd be divided by about 3, right? Isn't it?
140. Did I get the number right? Yeah, so 140,000 cubic meters.
But see, so we got two answers here. One of our listeners, Space Lord 75, says 5086, and then Trail Mix is 5969. That's a pretty significant difference.
Not really. 5969. 925. That's not
900,000 cubic feet.
So 100. Well, I mean, these are big numbers. Obviously, if I had a hole that was just as big as the difference between those two numbers.
That's too bad, Shannon, because I was hoping I could actually see. That's one of the things I wanted to see when I was out there. Oh well.
So now we missed some super chats here.
We're falling behind.
We got
yeah. Joke's on him. Somewhere in China, there's someone pulling on his fishing line. Yep.
And then Joe Hill again. Just curious, Paul, what software / coding language do you use for your animation algorithm for mouth movement? So I use the internal.
Here we go, everybody.
So I use Adobe After Effects for my videos primarily. I do use other tools as well, but the visuals is almost entirely Adobe After Effects. And they have an internal scripting language that isn't really anything else, although it's similar to JavaScript. And so it's the Adobe After Effects language, whatever that is called.
Square.
That's not a very good answer.
Well, it is. I mean, it's
the correct answer. It's just not.
It's how you do it. It's the.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
All right.
There we go.
Do we have is all of our business resolved? Now because I'm seeing now that it looks like trivia question time.
Are we? No, it isn't. We're only at 9:45. Isn't it every half hour?
Oh, I thought it was every 15 minutes. We did the first two on the 15 minutes. Should we?
Well, that's because we started late. The first time we did it every half hour.
Okay, well,
but we can do every 15 minutes.
No. No. So now we'll wait. We have 15 more minutes. This is great because I want to get through. I want to find out more about this hole.
If we do it every 15 minutes, we'll never fucking get into this.
No, let's hear more about the hole. Off we go.
Regular 1 pound weight.
Okay.
And so that's at the bottom of it at first.
So in other words, it would go down kind of like a plumb bob.
Exactly. In fact, I have it rigged across the center of it there, and it goes straight down from the center there. And occasionally I try to move the line there, but when you're moving that much line, you really can't do a whole lot with it. But it seems to, there seems to be, it's not resting against anything at this point here, and it continues to go down freely. And so when I was out there earlier,
So if he keeps adding to this line, I'm just trying to think through the logistics here. So it's not touching the edge. So he's obviously built a mount, kind of like a well.
Well, he already said there's a steel cover over the top of like a steel grating over the top of the hole.
A door, he called it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A metal door.
What he means is there's like a grate with a metal door in, but it could be, so there's a metal cover over top of it anyways. So it would be a very simple thing to, rig up.
But it sounds like he's been keeping this line. So at the same time, this fishing line is hanging right down the center. While it's been there, and he's never brought it all the way up, he just keeps adding to the top.
Yeah.
While that is there, he's been throwing in refrigerators and dead cows.
Now that's you assuming. Perhaps the throwing in has stopped while he's experimenting with the hole.
Okay.
I don't know, but you're
Okay.
making assumptions now, Paul.
I'm feeling skeptical.
You're right to feel skeptical because this is absolutely impossible. So I guess in Mel's defense, the Earth's crust is that thick, so it could.
Like 15 miles.
Especially
So
Washington
eventually,
State's right by the Rockies, right? So it's nice and thick there.
right. So not to spoil this, but this doesn't go into eventually down to the fact that this is an extra dimensional hole.
Paul, you're giving away the ending.
No, I mean, okay, we're still at deep hole. We're still at 15-mile hole.
It's just a 15-mile hole. That's it.
So, what movie is it where they are throwing garbage down? Is it Thor, where they're throwing garbage into like a portal? They're like throwing their shoe. What movie am I thinking of? And then eventually they go down.
The Dark World. That's where there's like the weird. Yeah.
Right. Darcy goes down, and eventually all the stuff they've been throwing is there. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I have tried to block Thor 2 out of my head, and now all of a sudden I brought it back.
Yeah. Hey, spoiler alerts, Lucifer Almighty. Relax. You're ruining it for
Down a little bit more line. And
So you actually went out there tonight after I read this?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Well, it's not too bad out here right now. It's about 25 degrees, so it's not too cold.
Have you ever heard anything coming from any sounds or anything?
Well, the normal thing to do is kind of like yell into it there, to see an echo, and I've never heard an echo come out of that thing.
No echo.
At all. That's one of the first things I noticed about it. As usual, I brought the dogs with me. They wouldn't go anywhere near the damn thing, and I went back to the Suburban and hung out over there, so it was kind of, if I try to bring them there on a leash, they'll just dig their feet in. They do not want to go anywhere near the hole.
Did the initial facts, did it have the story
the
about
facts
the dog?
also mentioned that dogs would not go anywhere near it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did it talk about the other dog?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Facts just mentioned that dogs don't like going.
Well, you've got miles and miles of...
Yeah, I think. I'm measuring it by feet. I convert feet to yards, so I don't know how many miles that is. I assume it's a fair number of miles, though.
Well, 5,280 feet is a mile, so you really think you've got 80,000?
Yes, yeah. I get line in 5,000 yard spool, and so I've gone through that many.
Well,
can you get fishing lines that are 5,000 feet?
Maybe ocean. I don't
Do
know.
you need to?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you have a beverage delivery as well. Look at you.
Yeah. Your dearly beloved is trying to gin up support to buy Force You tequila now. Just heads up.
Uh-oh. All right. Off we go.
People keep
you have got a hole then that goes, you can't say to the center of the earth, but you've got a hole that goes miles and miles and miles into the earth. I would think a university would be out there, boom, just like that.
Well, my wife does work for a local university here, and we've been talking to them about it. And one of the things.
Doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
Sorry, once again, I'm giving away the ending.
Also, initially, did he not say that we were going to have? He was trying to get someone from a geological survey to come out.
Yeah.
How is that even going to help?
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm pretty sure if you actually were like, hey, I measured this hole at 50 miles deep, and everyone's like, nah, we're not interested in that. Very boring. Very good, Joe. Very good, Joe Hill.
I have a friend who's the geologist, and like I can't imagine, like he's never been.
You've got to
called
beside me.
Well,
I didn't approve this.
My friend, yeah.
Oh, you're dumb. Okay.
I have someone who comes on my channel and talks when I need someone to talk about geology. Anyway, at no point has anyone ever come to Told I'm sure. Say, hey, how deep is this hole? Like, that's not what he does.
No, no.
He's like, I found this rock. You know, that's what you do. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. But I do guarantee if you legitimately went to any geologist and were like, hey, there's a 15-mile deep hole here, I promise you they would be interested. They would, if that was a real thing, a university would, probably want to come take a look at it.
They find it quite
Morbius is
incredible
not
that
an
I've let
MCU
that
movie,
much line
just
into the
saying.
ground, but that's what I've been doing.
Have you ever thought of winding it all back up again?
Well, when I
Truly,
let out the
truly
first
terrible.
1,500 yards of line, I reeled all of that back in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if I had hit water down there, because I thought that's a lot of feet.
You bet.
That's 4,500 feet of line. Did I hit water? So I did what I did.
That's not unreasonable. So if this
Yep.
guy's making this up as we go, let's go on the premise for a sec, Dave.
Yeah.
We know this is but let's pretend he was making this up.
Okay, as a hypothetical, if this wasn't true. Yeah.
This isn't
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
How long would he have had to been think? Like, this can't be something where, like, this seems more thought out than just someone, I sent a funny joke fax into Art Bell.
Did you ever see that movie with Matt Damon? It's based on a true story of the guy about the price fixing on the high fructose corn syrup. I can't remember what it's called.
That's not a real movie.
It is. It's a fascinating movie because it's a true story. It's this guy that worked for a company that produced like one of the big food companies, and had all this evidence about how these various companies were colluding to price fix the informant.
The Informant?
Yes. And who was it? Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think, is in it too. It's an absolutely fantastic movie. Highly recommend it to anybody watching.
Patton Oswalt, maybe you were thinking of.
Maybe is that who's I can't read that screen. It's too small on mine, but maybe it is Patton Oswalt is the FBI agent. But anyways, doesn't matter. The point is, so this guy is coming, and then I almost don't even want to give it away, but it goes like he has all this evidence and like all these things. And he keeps telling the story about how he was adopted and his parents, and then eventually you find out it's like no, his parents are very much alive, and it's like more and more things. And it's like everything about this guy's life is a lie, and this whole thing is a lie, and there's no benefit to him whatsoever to be telling these lies. And he's like a high-placed executive within this company, like has a wife, has kids, has all like a thing, and it's just all true. This guy really did this. This guy's just an absolute pathological liar. And even when you confront him with it, he's just like, will then just start lying about something else. And it's the craziest thing. And it's a true, like you can look it up. It's a true story. All this stuff really happened. He really had the FBI following these leads for years and doing all these things. And then they're like, wait a minute, everything this guy's saying is just a lie, just a straight up fabrication for no reason. Yeah.
So, but are you?
But
so
he's also,
it sounds like
he can
by
lie
bringing this
incredibly
up,
yeah,
you are essentially telling me that people can come up with lies spontaneously this quickly.
Yeah, and well thought out, and and sound absolutely convincing. So who knows? All I'm saying is Art might not be being honest right now.
Art might not be honest, or
Holy, I'm just.
It's a random shot in the dark there. I don't know. So you're talking about you're saying that Mel may not be entirely honest.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah.
Okay. So I just because
I'm still laughing about Andy Diaz just throwing a lot of shade at me there. I feel that's harsh.
you must have done something to him.
Damn right,
them.
Michael.
Yep.
Damn right. Yeah.
Is I sent down a roll of lifesavers.
Lifesavers?
Yeah, so when it hits the water,
Do they still have lifesavers? Are lifesaver candies still a thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to test. Okay. So he wanted to test if there's water at 4,500 feet. And the best way to do that is to send down some lifesavers.
You know what? I get it. I get the logic because it'll dissolve in water, right? Because potentially it could dry. But 4,500 feet's a long time, and it's probably quite hot down at that depth. Like it could dry out before you get back or thing. But if you put a lightsaber down, it'll dissolve in water, and you'll be able to
right.
come
And
back
then you would still actually
like
it has that writing on it, or at least it used to when I was a kid. It had the so even if that was just if it was in water for a while, some of the lifesaver writing would. Okay, so this is not bad.
A lot of people in our audience have like you've had a lightsaber in your mouth for a while, and you take it out, and you can see it's like it's
not
melting away,
lightsaber. You don't have a lightsaber in your mouth. Lifesaver.
Look.
Oh, I feel like we're past trivia question time.
We are past trivia time. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do it. Okay.
We're resuming the game in 11 seconds. Everyone get your trivia fingers going. Everyone pay attention to the screen.
Oh boy. I'm tremendously emotionally invested in this trivia contest.
Paulogia merchandise on the line and bragging rights. Bragging rights are more important.
More important. Question number 3. Nikola Tesla famously lost a fortune attempting to construct Wardenclyffe Tower in Long Island. Never fully functional, what was Wardenclyffe designed to do? Use cold riveted girders with cores of pure selenium to summon Gozer, trans messages, telephone calls, and even fax images across the Atlantic. Harness the vibrational force of the Earth to provide limitless free power, or a teleforce weapon Tesla claimed could destroy aircraft 250 miles away. Bam! I nailed that one.
Another fun fact I know about Nikola Tesla is he built Atomic Robo.
He did. Yes.
All right, we're tallying. Let's see how everyone did. Hope everyone got their trivia questions on.
Oh, this one's going to be rough, I feel.
You think it's going to be rough? Oh, they're seeing a lot of threes in the chat. Okay.
Seeing a lot of threes in the chat.
Uh-oh.
And it is, in fact, number 2. Number 3 was, see, that's the trick. So both 3 and 4 are things that Tesla actually did, but that is not what Wardenclyffe was built to do.
I see. So this is separating the
This was a dirty trick question. Yeah.
This is if you're really a conspiracy theorist, you'd know. All right. Back to the Art Bell.
Back to it. There were a number of messages suggesting that they would prefer the 15-minute trivia. I don't know. We can.
Well, because we went so long in the last one. Maybe we'll do it at the quarter past the hour. Sure. We can. Well, I mean, we'll see. We're probably just going to be chit chatting anyway. So who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
We'll blow through it, whatever we say.
That's true. Oh, I see. So very smart. So
it's an old shark fisherman's trick. There, we used to send our bait out on a balloon attached to a roll of lifesavers. The bait would go out into the ocean on the tide.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he really is a shark fisherman, this isn't a lie he had to come up with on the spot.
The best lies have some truth mixed in, Paul.
Kernel of truth. That's right.
Yeah.
And then eventually the lifesavers would melt and the bait would fall to the bottom. You couldn't cast a big old mackerel out there that far. So
that's amazing. So what do you got any guesses?
I don't. I have no idea. I thought it could have been a mine shaft, but the thing about it is the surface part of it's been very well cared for. I mean, someone built a very lovely wall around it, and
all right. Tell me about the nature of the side of the walls. In other words, you must be able to look down far enough, at least, to examine the side of the walls.
Sure, it's stone for about 15 feet down.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's soil, dirt, and then further down rock. So, but I can only see to the extent of really powerful flashlight. I brought halogen lights out there to try to get a better look down there, but the visibility really isn't there. You cannot see much after a while. But
so the first 15 feet are stone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty deep to stone in, even like a well or whatever. Pretty deep, but okay, not inconceivable.
Not inconceivable. That's within reason.
I guess if my property, like let's say that this goes back generations or whatever. That if I had a bottomless pit that went. It was a portal to other dimensions, perhaps. Who knows? Or just deep.
It's also
hole.
a 9-foot circle, so that's a considerable amount of effort to go to for.
It's a lot of stone. That's what I'm thinking.
Because you're not drawing water up out of it or anything.
Yeah, it's just even just for the waste management. I'm not sure it's worth that kind of effort, but maybe it would have had religious connotations. I had another thought, and it left me. So we'll handle instead these. Anyway, Joe Hill, thank you for gifting a membership. Appreciate that very much.
Joe.
And Jeff Cochran writes, just a thank you. I left the faith years ago, but I never professed until this last year, Paul. Watching your content got me started on a journey toward closure that I didn't know I needed. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate that. And that is the purpose of my channels and my efforts and everything I want to do. And I'm so... Cheers to you. I'm going to give you actually the good one. Cheers to you. Good rum.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers to you, Jeff.
For finding your way out of that particular maze.
Yes.
But can we interest you in a bottomless
shot?
Can I interest you in a bottomless hole?
Yeah.
It's it's a retaining wall. I'd say it's about a 3.5 foot retaining wall, and it goes down about 15 feet, and then.
That's my question. That was my follow up. So it feels to me like light. Like if you lowered, I don't know if like in modern days, like if we would lower like LED, they would have bright LED lights that we wouldn't mind losing because they'd be cheap.
Yeah.
And you'd lower them down. Like it seems like if this is a straight hole that you'd be able to see the light there's no reason to stop seeing the light.
So this is something I actually kind of think about because I deal a lot with LED lights and various lights in my job. And I can tell you that in the 90s, unless you were willing to pay a great deal of money and run some kind of powerful electric cord down, you could not have a light that would shine very brightly or directionally from that.
Yeah, and perhaps I expressed that poorly. I meant, I don't think that, but in modern day, if this collar was today.
Oh, yeah. You could have an LED on the surface that would easily, you can have like even LED headlights that will do pretty much a mile bright directional beam down for under $100.
Right.
Easily.
And also, but theoretically ones you could lower down, right? Like you could lower down.
Which you would see better than shining up from the top. Absolutely.
Right. And unless there is a field of vision problem, or unless a line of sight problem, that's the word, not a field of vision, but unless there's a line of sight problem, correct me, Dave, that it doesn't really matter how deep it went as long as there was no line of sight obstruction, right?
No, there isn't actually, because light's a wave and a beam, it gets weird. It's sort of like stars or things in the sky. Theoretically you could see planets or whatever, but it's like there is actually a point where it's like light kind of gets too diffuse and you don't pick it up.
I guess you're right, because even an LED light has certain however many lumens and candles that it puts out, and that
and
stops,
distance and things. And
that stops at a certain point. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Sure, but but way more than 4,500 feet, I would think.
It super depends on the brightness of the light. Potentially, yes.
But if it happened today, there would be
you could easily go more than 4,500 feet easily.
Yeah, there'd be a sub $100 light that would cover anyway.
Yeah, but in the 90s, in the
90s, and this is why this was a great lie, and then this is why in the 90s there wasn't a way to do that. You're right, because you would have needed an extension cord.
Chat. Look at that.
We do have a super chat. Wow. I wonder if Mel's holes could be a kimberlite pipe remnant, according to geology. Kimberlite blasts diamond packed rock out at supersonic speed. Okay. Yes.
We have kimberlite pipes in northern Saskatchewan, where I live, and Northwest Territories. It is how you find diamonds as you go looking for kimberlite.
All right, now you've doxed yourself. Dave is either in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I'm in Saskatchewan. I'm pretty sure I've said it on this stream a number of times.
So off you go.
I would enjoy if any of your viewers ever tracked me down and like wanted to have a drink. I would be absolutely delighted. That's the thing. You know, I'm not too worried about it.
That has
Except
actually happened
Andy
to me before.
Diaz, who apparently doesn't.
I have
like me.
accepted. I shouldn't even say. I shouldn't. When I was a much smaller channel, I occasionally accepted people who would randomly want to have a coffee with me in a public place. And anyway, we have another super chat from Eddie Dean. Nope, the hole is from Giant Worms from Tremors.
Absolutely, one of the greatest movies of all time. Love Tremors.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this much. No matter how powerful a light, and I was even thinking about a laser, when you're talking about 80,000 feet, forget it.
Well, they should have some technology that can give me an idea of how deep this thing is. I mean, obviously, the old fishing line method is only going to go so far.
What we need here is a volunteer. I'm serious. Somebody who would be willing to be lowered into this hole.
Well, I don't. You know, to be honest with you, I don't even know if there's any air down that far. I mean,
I wouldn't know.
No, there's air. There's air that far.
Oh, look at that! Getting memberships gifted left and right.
Woo! It's like we're on Twitch or something.
There's air. I mean, it's. I will. Okay, so we might as well throw it out there.
Yep.
That's. I mean, he gave us $9.99 and is being mean to us. I don't know what's going on, David Iacono. You're confusing me. I'm getting mixed messages here. Real.
Thank you, David. You're welcome for. You're welcome for nothing.
Yeah, you're welcome, David. We're glad we could be here. Yeah, that is about what we provide. Oh, look, Dapper Dinosaur here. So, okay. Just because I am into this kind of nonsense, because there's all kinds of theories and stuff that come around. The Russian Super Bowl hole, the actual deepest hole in the earth that the Russians drilled.
Okay.
You know, like legitimately for research purposes, it was kind of a reverse moon race. The Russians and the Americans were, for a time, the Soviets, I should say, and the Americans were pushing to see who could drill the deepest hole. Although nobody,
this
it was a lot less
up.
glamorous than the space race, right? I mean, the Russians got a lot deeper than the Americans did, and they got about. It was on here before. I think it was like 7. I can't remember what it is, but there basically comes a point where the Earth's like the rock. It's so hot that the rock, you can't drill through it. It almost is like butter, right? Like it becomes malleable, almost like liquid.
Are you telling me
right?
I can't drill through butter?
Well, or you can, but it just...
Oh, I see. It collapses back in. Oh, I gotcha.
As the crust starts transitioning to the mantle,
okay,
it starts getting to the point where you're like, well, you can't really drill. With the technology we have, you can't really go any deeper because you just... you'd have to somehow be shoring up the sides as you drill and have it not melt and have it, you know, and there's no reason to. There's no valuable purpose to it other than to do it. So that's what. So like, and that happens way before 15 miles, way shallower than that. You get to a point where it's like there is no structural integrity that can be held by any hole at that depth because of the insane pressures and temperatures, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So,
okay.
you know,
but let me devil's advocate here. Let's say everything you said is true. So at 7.6 miles, or 8 miles, let's say 8 miles.
I'll look it up and tell you the actual number.
Everything turns to, it's like this, butter substance and melting things. So if he's throwing his dead cows and refrigerators down, and even if it gets to that point, would it not essentially like have the same affect as a bottomless hole? Because the fridge that you threw down would then kind of flow into this molten.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as where the story breaks down is that he's dipped some, lifesaver candies.
Yes.
Beyond that, but actually, it's if this hole really was 8 miles deep, that it would essentially act as a bottomless hole.
for all intents and purposes, yes, you could essentially infinitely keep throwing stuff down because it would just burn up and go away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay. So maybe something that, all right.
Especially 15 miles, which is what he said. Like the Earth's
Right.
crust is that deep, but that's getting to the point where tectonics and stuff start. Like there are currents, there are, it moves. The Earth's crust moves.
But so, but if we grant,
Yeah.
even like 10 miles, 8 miles, you wouldn't ever hear the splash that you're looking for, or you wouldn't hear the thud at the bottom.
No, you wouldn't hear that from you.
Because-
You wouldn't hear a fucking foghorn blaring from 15 miles away, right? Like,
Okay.
I mean, that's more than 30 kilometers. Like, yeah, right. Like, you're not hearing nothing from there. Yeah.
So Timothy Harmon writes, okay, what do the black boxes mean? Or is this some kind of meta millennial thing? This is an inside joke for members of this channel. Dave, you probably don't even know this because as far as I
don't know. I've just been, people have fun with it.
You're not a member of, Dave's not a member of my channel. He doesn't know because Dave doesn't support me. That's always the way this goes. Just never has my back.
I could tell some fucking stories.
No, Dave is the person who has my back. That's absolutely anyway. No, it's a inside joke for members because there is a. Well, I don't want to ruin the rest of it. You have to become a member to know what it means.
That's the man right there.
If you
want to
know,
you gotta.
If you know, you know, and if you don't, then you're not part of it.
Yep.
About that either,
Or
that's
what
true.
kind of pressures we're dealing with. These are things that are totally beyond my my grasp in terms of knowledge about things. But
Do you own this property?
it's our property, yeah.
How long have you been working on this?
Well, we've been out there for a couple of years. I said about 4 years now. But this project here with letting down the line, that's only been since last summer here, and it was just
Last summer.
I said, well, how come this thing isn't filling up?
Well, sure.
And I talked to the neighbors around there, which are on when you're out there in the country, your neighbors are pretty far away, but they all know the hole out there.
They all know about it, so it's like
because they all bring their trash out there.
so the local legend of the hole.
Yeah, this could be an apocryphal story, but one guy claims that he threw his
Could be apocryphal. Look,
It's not part of the canon, Dave.
I don't have any direct data to back it up. Also, Soren Alexander is a man of class and distinction who knows a good Kids in the Hall song. And, that's it. One of my favorite bits.
Some of us are David, but most of us are Dave.
We all have the same name, but we come from different mothers.
I love that line because it doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't, or scan. The syllables are wrong. Everything about it's wrong.
We all have.
But we come from different mothers.
Wait, but we all have different. Is it different hands? We all have different hands.
No, because it was the same something.
We all have
the same hand.
different.
It's all the same, but we come from different.
But we come from
Now
different. But I am a member. Okay, so Timothy, so you just are not being let in on the good joke, because so Joe Hill is letting you in on the joke.
Is it on the Discord? Is that where he can learn about the joke?
No, not on the Discord. I have a Discord theoretically. I have not been there in about 4 years, so I don't know what's happening.
Me neither. I don't know.
But Joe Hill will help you out, Timothy, if you go look and follow him on the chat to get the inside.
It's also
jokes.
trivia time, Paul.
Oh, is it trivia time? Okay.
We were going to do this one in 15 minutes, I think, right?
Yeah, we were. All right, let's go. So we got 2, 1. Get your trivia fingers going. Let's go.
Everyone knows a UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, but there are many other famous UFO incidents. Which of the following is not a famous UFO encounter? Repeated. The Rendlesham Forest incident, the Kansas City witch lights, the Belgian UFO wave, or the Battle of Los Angeles? Which of those is not a real thing? What's your guess, Paul?
Well, I've looked at the actual answers
Oh, okay, that's right. Fair enough.
because I had to import them. So I will not. I will not prejudice this one.
Yeah,
Um,
we should learn how. I should do that at some point, and then
yeah, I could give you the.
and then you could play along with everybody else.
That would be good. Yeah. So we have we're
It might be a
deciphering.
couple weeks. Till
Although
we,
maybe
roll it
maybe
off
this will be
again.
maybe this will be the end of the trivia game. Maybe we'll decide we don't like it. There's a lot of number 4s.
A lot of number 4. Oh, a lot. Most it seems like most people got it right. The Battle of Los Angeles is a real thing where a UFO was reported in World War II above Los Angeles, and the military spent about, I think it was like an hour and a half shooting into the sky. There, you can see footage of it where there was just all kinds of anti-aircraft going, and nobody ever was able to figure out what they were shooting at or what was happening. And it's a big thing. It's the Battle of Los Angeles. Yeah. My favorite of those is the Belgian UFO wave. That's just
All right. So yeah, I hope everyone's having fun with the trivia game. We've done that was 4 questions so far.
We're definitely open to doing it more, but we can't do trivia every show because
No, we're not going to do it every show. But
I will run out of think the right questions about. There aren't
That's
that
right.
many crazy mysteries or conspiracy theories. Yeah.
All right. Back to Art.
Anyways, back to
Started
Martin
canine
Mel.
down into the hole.
Oh, really?
And he well, the story is the guy that did it swears the dog actually came back to him. And he was a
Really?
hunter. He was a hunt. The story is that he was a hunter, and he was out there hunting, and he saw...
I need to back this up for a minute, a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we kind of missed. Yeah, that gotta.
Your neighbors are pretty far away, but they all know the hole out there.
They all know about it. So it's like
because they all bring their trash out there.
so the local legend of the hole.
Yeah, this could be an apocryphal story, but one guy claims that he threw his departed canine down into the hole.
Oh, really?
And well, the story is the guy that did it swears the dog actually came back to him. And he was a
Really?
hunter. He was a hunt. The story is that he was a hunter, and he was out there hunting, and he saw the same dog. He had the same collar. He had the same little little metal thing on his collar there, and he said it was the same dog. And he says he knew he put the dog into the hole. But that's not that's not my dog. That's not my.
It's not your story, but it's a story of a resurrected dog.
Yeah. This is
Little Pet Cemetery.
Little Pet Cemetery,
And
Dave.
AK-47 Adult Swim. We have not done the Area 51 collar, but it is on the list. So that is one that Paul and I discussed before.
Yeah, that was a potential for tonight, and we'll definitely do it at some point.
So we will do the Area 51 collar at some point. Yes. Yeah.
So now, Dave, it's not just a deep hole.
No,
It is a supernatural hole.
the plot thickens.
The plot, as it were.
Paul, this is just a story Mel heard. Mel heard.
Mel
He
heard.
even the tone of voice. He's like, well, I heard that somebody had this dog and it was dead, and he threw it in, and the dog came back to him. That's just the story before I got here, Art.
So,
Mel's good. He's so good.
So however this hole works, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The supernatural hole definitely resurrects pets.
Yes.
And then so it doesn't like hoist, how does it doesn't hoist the dog back up.
You just supernatural, which is prejudicial, Paul. The hole. So far, this is just a hole, but it resurrects pets.
The pet resurrecting hole. The pet resurrecting hole doesn't hoist the animal back up.
No.
It just somewhere there's, I guess, the hole connects with another hole somewhere where the resurrected animal is released.
Uh-huh.
And then you hope that, well, I guess you don't, the hole doesn't hope anything, probably. The hole doesn't have hopes and dreams.
Oh, Paul,
as far as
you're really,
as far as we know,
the hole
okay
knows what's. Yeah.
So where I'm going with this is, what about the dead cows that they sent down there?
Oh, that's a good question. He did specifically mention they threw a lot of, but I mean, to be fair, and my uncle I come from a ranching family around. Cows are pretty hard to. I can see you've got to feel the cows. Probably what more control. You probably your count would be off. You'd be like, oh shit, yesterday I had 87.
That's
cows.
what I'm
Today I
saying.
had
Is that
88.
you
But
no
you're not
one
gonna be like, look at that cow. That's the
hey, it's
dead
Bessie,
one.
right? No, this is you're following the same line as mine. It's like we could be resurrecting cows every other week, and it'd be like,
This could solve the world's food crisis. Yeah.
Where did that cow from? Well, it has our brand. Okay, off we go.
All right, well, we got about 50 super chats.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Got to catch up on here, man. You're falling behind. You're disappointing many fans.
Is it Sonic Shroom, the first one?
your
What is it?
Black Super.
Don't know.
The first one I saw that we haven't read was I don't have my mouse on the Joe Hill.
I have to go to bed. It's
Uh-oh.
caramel apple.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we're not going to read them because I've been delivered a shot.
Because that was
You
what
got
kicked it all off.
promises.
Will this? So
I
we
guess I'll
will.
just have to finish off.
We
my
will
beer.
celebrate the super chats that got led to this point. But Shannon wants me to observe this. So, salute.
It's you and me and Shannon and all of us.
That's delicious. What was that?
Caramel apple.
Caramel apple.
You're
Delicious.
welcome.
All right, Sonic Shroom. What is it? Don't know. We should shoot it to find out. That's right. We should
Yes.
shoot the hole. I bet if this was
Very
a real,
American.
if this was a
American.
real, not I'm not doubting him, but like going benefit. This is a real hole. Definitely someone has shot in this hole. Like if this is a real hole in the middle of Washington State, someone has fired bullets down it. That's for sure. That's a guarantee. It's America, Dave.
Yep.
All right, Joe Hill for $10. Thank you, Joe. You're great. My donation to Booze Jesus is here. Also, hail the black box. Hail the black box. Thank you, Joe. We have $4.99 from Peyton Dooley. It's not a hole, it's the Sarlacc pit.
Don't throw Boba Fett down there.
So the Sarlacc pit
You'll schedule a meeting.
was great from 1983 through to 1996.
I'd say longer for
No.
most of the world who aren't
Because
as
in
tuned into
1997,
Star Wars as you are.
1997,
Yeah.
you know what happened in 1997, Dave.
But was the Sarlacc involved? Maybe I'm
They added the
Missing out.
stupid beak in 1997, the special editions.
Yeah. See, I don't even I still have a copy of the originals, and that's all I ever watch. Yeah. You're right.
That was of the special. I was a fan of this, but I liked a lot of the editions on the special edition. The Sarlacc pit beak was not one of them.
And I mean, there's a lot of others that like the
There's a
really ostentatious the right word. There's certain editions that are like super in your face. The whole
Yes.
Jabba's band,
Far too.
the Sarlacc, the Greedo shit, the non-stop changes
Right.
to Greedo where they're doing it again and again. Yeah.
But I guess where I was going with this was so 19,
Clunky?
19
What's
1983. We had a great Sarlacc pit. You fall into it.
Yep.
It's legendary because it doesn't do anything. It just sits there
Got
for
teeth on the
thousands of
side.
years. You fall in.
Yep.
And then you got a beak for some reason. That's no good. But then Dave, the Book of Boba Fett made it even worse.
Oh, so bad.
So anyway, the Sarlacc pit. All
Who
hail
was
the-
that again? Because somebody's wound you right up. They didn't realize that they've hit one of
Peyton
your hot
Dooley.
buttons and now
Thank you,
we're like,
Peyton.
yeah.
But you've brought up bad memories instead of good memories.
Everybody, please don't bring up the Sarlacc around Paul. He gets a little.
Roger
a
Wenzel, longtime supporter of the channel.
We love you, Roger.
The bark. What does that say? The Barksaya? What?
Barksaya, because it's the dog that's come back to life.
Oh, the Barksaya. Oh, yeah,
Barksaya.
perfect.
Jesus,
Yes,
Paul.
it's Jesus's
See what I
dog.
did there? That was
So
a pun.
it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
like
word.
you know how Batman has Ace and Superman has Crypto. Jesus has
No.
this- What?
It's not like that at all. Neither of those dogs came back from the dead.
No, but Jesus, I'm just saying, if Jesus somehow the dogs in the DC
The
universe,
Mark Sai is Jesus.
yeah,
Is the canine sidekick. It's
yeah,
cute.
for some reason I don't know why, but the dogs in the pets in the DC universe share qualities with the masters for some reason.
In the
whatever.
Jesus Saturday morning cartoon.
That's right.
The Jesus and friends.
One
he's got
day,
Mark Sai.
Jesus will be an Avenger. All right. Vaguely agnostic writes drink.
Drink.
Which I
Well, we
did.
did. You got a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Timothy Armand brings up the exact same point you did. Yeah.
No, but Timothy. Yeah, why didn't he resurrect the cows? Good question, Timothy. I'm with you on that. Why
Good
didn't?
question.
But I think, to be fair, if we're giving it its due, maybe the cows did resurrect and we just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, we kind of see we got a little behind there, so I feel like we've already answered.
Yeah, we're good. And then are we down
Bradley
to
Given?
Bradley Given.
Can't they make the whole chat out of black box? Why don't they make the plane out of black? Yeah, I get it. I get what you did there.
Someone probably could write a Chrome extension, but they would do that. Yes, but yes, it's the
Holy, Anti-Theist Atheist really doesn't like me.
oh my. Well, all right.
Well, can't, like P.T. Barnum says, Paul, you can please some of the people some of the time.
That's right.
Was it? No, I screwed it up. Some of the people all the time, and all the people some of the time. You can't please, all the people all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Maybe we're just not for you, atheist. Sorry.
But thank you for hanging out with us.
We do love you here. Yep.
TC for
I will
$5
not
writes,
change
I
myself for you,
heard
but-
there were 500 witnesses of the dog's resurrection in Washington. You could totally go talk to them. I agree. That's right. And
here's the thing you don't know, Paul. They only had 2 cans of Alpo, and somehow they fed all 500 of those dogs. How could that happen if that dog didn't fall down a bottomless pit, Paul? Explain that.
explain that.
You can't. Can you?
Checkmate atheists. Checkmate atheists. Good job,
Come
TC.
at me, bro.
All right, are we finally ready to hear more about the whole?
Although it's literally time for another trivia question.
No, it can't be. No,
You're
I'm calling an audible. We're doing a couple minutes here. We're doing next break.
Imagine this is all Native American land around here, and so one of the lines of inquiries I'd like to make is, is there anything about this hole in regards to the Native American? That's something I haven't really pursued right now. But
if you had a fatal disease, Mel.
Oh my.
So, I mean, pretty good for someone in the 90s to actually be properly using Native Americans, because you and I lived in the 90s and not everyone was quite as politically correct as that.
No, although that was the start. Yeah.
It was the start.
Yes.
So good for him.
Yeah.
Good for
Certainly
him.
not random, farmer from Washington State.
It's true.
Yeah.
But also, now I feel like he's just...
Sorry, Joey, the dog's name, Barkabas. I'm still laughing about this. But anyways, yes.
Anyway.
We're getting super derailed. There's also a super chat.
That's fine. We got Fireball Fund for
Fireball
$20 from Phil. Wow. I'm going to be in trouble by the end of this. I need to start pouring the alcohol down the hole.
Yep.
Okay.
Nobody's
so
giving me shots.
I promised that when we paused that we would get back to the trivia. So, coming up.
Yep.
That was Revelations. That was the inquiry number 4. So we're coming up on number 5. Let's go.
Yes. Revelations of the Inquiry. Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't notice that, Paul. Good. Nice. Well done. Yeah.
Oh, it's not resuming. Why is it
not moving?
Oh, there it goes.
In 1908, an explosion destroyed over 750 square miles of forest. Detected by instruments in Europe, Indonesia, and the USA, the 12 megaton explosion caused a great pillar of fire. Where did this happen? 1. Tunguska, Siberia. 2. Nazca, Peru. 3. Mount Cisifrora, Madagascar. Or 4. Krakatoa Island between Java and Sumatra.
I am taking this opportunity to pour myself rum, so I'm not paying as much attention as I should. But that's okay. Everyone type in your numbers.
Nobody feels bad about you complaining about the shots you're taking while you're pouring yourself a healthy dole of rum. This one is people know this one.
Everyone's got this one. Number one, the ones have it.
This is
perhaps?
a pretty famous thing. Yes, it was
okay.
Tunguska
So we got
Siberia.
mostly people got it right. So this was a gimme,
And-
as it were.
Yep. If you're into, we don't want to belittle people who didn't know or whichever, and there were people who don't, but it's kind of famous because it is an absolutely everything there is absolutely true. Huge, like there was a 12 megaton explosion, a huge pillar, like it was well witnessed, well recorded, and to this day, there's a bunch of theories, even legitimate scientific theories, but nobody really knows for sure what caused this to happen because there is no crater, there's no meteorite, there's no impact, but there was this explosion in Siberia.
All right.
And it was a big circle. Like it was like a blast crater, right? Like it goes out from this thing, 750. You can see all the trees are laying down away from it. And there's all kinds of photos and everything you can see of it, but there's no actual impact crater at the middle of it. No meteorite, no anything. So there's many theories about what actually caused it, but nobody knows for sure. And probably we never will.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the great show because we're learning things, and we're learning about not just holes, but also other things.
Not just holes.
That's
Yes.
Yeah,
Would you jump in the hole?
I would.
You would?
Just
Just based on the dog story?
It is in my will.
What?
Should I meet my demise,
That you would be thrown in the hole?
disposed of into the well.
I'm not sure.
Okay, sorry, I completely derailed everybody. But I was reading a story on CBC today about a man in Vancouver who unfortunately passed away at 79. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And the obituary in the paper was he was dearly hoping that 6 Canucks would volunteer to be his pallbearers so they could let him down one more time. It was like all about how he was a lifelong Canucks fan and all
Okay.
this thing.
So for that joke to make sense, you have to know that Canuck in that sense meant specifically the Vancouver Canuck hockey team, and not just the
Hockey team,
not
yeah.
just a slang for Canadian. That he was a Vancouver Canucks fan, and
The
he
Canucks
wanted
were
them to let
famous
him
for
down.
having very good teams over the last decades that always completely choke in the playoffs and die. Yeah.
to let him down one more time. That's a good joke.
Let me down one more time. Six Canucks be my pallbearers so they can let me down one final time.
That's a good hockey joke.
Yeah.
The health department.
But anyway, so Mel
Yes. So, Mel
claims-
is got it in his will that when he dies.
again,
Must be thrown in
probably
the hole.
something he could like if we are fact checking in future. We know that Mel comes back for future call-in shows, so we'll see if we cover
Yeah.
that or not. That'll be something in the
If I
future. That
remember
would be
correctly, and I might be wrong, I think Mel was on Art Bell show 4 times in total.
that's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to ruin it. Let's not ruin it. Let's just go ahead.
Would allow that.
We
Well,
might do more Mel.
If the crowd is pleased by Mel, we will do more Mel.
One of the things that I thought.
Is it not? I'm pretty
and
sure
the
it would
story-
be illegal.
the
to
story
just throw
gets
his
bigger
body down
every-
the hole.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure it would be illegal to just throw his body down the hole. Like there are actual laws about what you can and can't do with bodies and who. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if you had like an actual mortuary or whatever. But it's like
So
there's very strict rule. There's surprisingly strict rules about what you can do with human remains after they die, and
But-
you can't just kind of do whatever the fuck you want with them.
that is super so you're used to Canada where we tend
I guess
to
that's
have-
true. Yeah.
So in the States, there would very much be a county by county regulation. Like there would be thousands of different jurisdictions in America where those decisions would be made. So, and I'm guessing,
Michael
Like
makes a
in
good point. His ashes, you absolutely could, and he's absolutely right. Yes, but
yeah, like Montana, like you can probably just whatever. If you want to,
Yeah.
if you want your grandma to be your scarecrow, that's fine. Just
That's
go
true.
for it.
I don't know. Well, there's no reason they'd know. Viewers channel. I am legally able to perform weddings in the United States because I am an ordained minister. of the Latter-day Church of the Dude. That flies in the States. It doesn't fly in Canada, where we have very much more stringent rules about what constitutes a religion and who's allowed to do weddings. But I have it here somewhere on my desk. Where is it? There it is. Here is my certificate of ordination. It's backwards. You can't see. I am the Church of Latter-day Dude. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It does have my full legal name on there, so maybe I shouldn't. Last name's Ebart. Fucking come at me.
Now you've self-doxed. I don't know. What
Yeah.
to
So
do.
does that can you self-dox? Is that a? Or is that
You
just
can.
talking?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just talking. But yeah, how could they? Timothy writes, "How would they prove they threw the body down the hole?" So that is an interesting thing about. My lawyer has had long talks with me about things that I wanted to put in my will. Not long talks, but there's the regular point at that no one can enforce that, right? Was a thing that constantly was. Yeah, I get it. Your will is largely your wishes, and to the extent to which people care about your wishes.
Yeah, if they're just kind of like, yeah, we don't feel like doing that. It's like
Right.
there's no real legal.
So, like, where your possessions go, that can be enforced by the court, and where your money goes. But if you have any other kind of thing, it's like, I want to be buried so that I'm facing the sunset. The court's not going to do anything to anybody if you bury
If they
me.
just throw you
Yeah.
in the ditch in the
No.
back, it's just like, oh, you go. And let's not gloss over. You got a super chat from Jeffrey Summerhays.
Uh-oh.
There's no content to it, but
Thank
I
you,
just want to
Jeffrey.
highlight.
We appreciate you so
Jeffrey
much. I assume
We
that
do
you
appreciate
are,
you so much.
I assume that you're enjoying and appreciating the show, and we enjoy hanging out. Frankly,
YouTube says it's the very first super chat he's ever given you. So,
oh my goodness, that is amazing.
And
So,
we're glad you're here.
Dave and I could. Here's the thing, you and I can hang out anytime we want.
Yes,
but
my middle name is Gilly. It's not. It's William.
We want to hang out with. We enjoy hanging out with all of you because you guys make this. We laugh about this stuff all the time.
We love it.
We love hanging out with all of you, and we appreciate.
We don't want to let you know, but Paul and I do talk outside of our interactions here in public.
Do. Behind the that's a peek behind the kimono, as you said earlier. But yes.
Now, mostly when we talk about Dapper Dinosaur. So
that's right.
Fair enough. But either way, here we are.
And none of those conversations can come to light.
No, not in public.
Not in public.
But if private message us Dapper Dinosaur and will.
Until I'm dead, and Dapper Dino, he may or may not be in my will.
May or may not be in your will. Is he going to inherit
later on?
How that works?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think you can will that away, Paul.
No, so as again, my lawyer specifically mentioned that some of my things in my will aren't very orthodox and can't be. So one of the things is, if I should die suspiciously, please check out Dapper Dinosaur. That may or may not be.
Yeah. YouTube handles aren't legally binding. You really need to find out Dapper Dinosaur's real name.
I know.
But we're not gonna.
No,
I can dox myself. I'm not gonna dox.
That's right.
Dapper Dinosaur. Yeah.
What if this is like contaminating our water? And we've had I'm sure you do this out there in Pahrump too.
Well,
you have your water checked all the time.
Well, yeah, no personal offense to you, Mel, but if there was a possible contamination problem, I'm sure you're a clean guy.
Yeah.
But as you deteriorated, you would possibly produce E. coli or something horrible in the local water supply.
Well,
no.
The local water supply is not 15 miles deep. Fun fact.
No. But also, every community in North America has graveyards.
Yes.
And it's not, no one's, I'm sure there are environmental regulations around that, but it's not like, hey, we buried a body, we're ruining the water table.
And away from that, things die in nature and they just lay there and decompose and are eaten. Like,
Literally just in the river, like raccoons go and they drown in the river.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Well, again, so far,
I like the theme in chat that things are bad is like anything people banned into the hole. 25 into the hole.
That's right.
Bad.
Into the hole.
This might become a new. Yeah. Anything. Yeah. You're going in the hole.
hasn't.
If you
there
weren't
is-
resurrected.
I mean, the water around that area is absolutely pure water. It is,
And so nothing thrown down, all the old junk and
No.
trash, and nothing has polluted the water.
No, I mean, I can't speak for everything that's been thrown down there, but none of that has been showing up in the water that people draw from their wells. The water's as clean as it's ever been out there. I think we get water that comes off the Cascades or something.
Yeah.
It's just really great. It's really wonderful water.
Mel, you wouldn't be pulling my leg.
No, I'm not, and I'm one of the reasons.
You can't lie about pulling someone's leg, Dave.
If he asks, you have to tell him.
That's right.
It's like being a cop.
It's like an undercover
law.
cop.
It's like an undercover cop. If you're a cop, you have to tell me.
Which is not a true
There's
thing.
a lot of requests, Paul, to make a Mel's hole emoji for your channel.
Oh, okay. We can do a Mel's hole emoji to replace the. Well, we can't replace the black box
You
now.
can't replace the black square. The black square
Black-
seems
black
classic.
square
Whatever
stays.
the
That's right.
awesome
Black-
in joke that all these super cool people
Black square stays.
are into. Yeah.
That I went out to the property tonight, other than it just, it's something that weighs heavily on my mind. I was afraid that after I sent the fax out, that there would be people around there because it's...
Well, there may be, but we have not identified specifically where it is.
Well, there aren't, as far as I could tell, too many big holes like that around, and so at least the people in my neck of the woods are familiar with it, and I kind of almost expected to see a small party of people.
Well, there may be. Now, I mean, come daylight, there may be. But remember, folks, this is private property. This is Mel's hole.
It is posted, too.
Oh, it is. All right. There you are. So without knowing exactly where it is, I wouldn't look for that to occur.
This
But
reminds me of the I don't remember the guy's name that was like, just call and you'll get a free book. And Art's like, I don't think you realize how many people listen to this show. He's like, no, just call this phone number
That's
right
right,
now.
yeah.
And give you a free book. And Art's like, okay, dumbass, here we go. Do you know that there's like 35 million people that listen to my show? And a lot of them are, I don't like to use the word crazy, but obsessive. So
No, even to be more kind. A lot of them have free time, Dave. A lot of them
Free
have
time.
free time.
And to be fair, if I was listening to a radio show and they're like, call this number and you get a free book, I'd be like, all right. Why the hell not? Yeah, call
There
this
was no
number,
Amazon
get a
in the
free
90s. If you wanted a book in the
No.
mail, how else were we going to get it?
book. Yeah. Well, you would call certain German numbers. And get... Anyways, the point is, Mel's hole. Carry on.
there's going to be substantial curiosity about it now.
It is 10:45, Paul.
All right. So we're coming up on trivia time.
Liquid
So we'll
ice,
do
King
trivia
It is,
time.
King Alexander. It
Okay,
is.
everyone get your trivia fingers and your trivia
Get
brains.
your trivia fingers ready.
Because in 12 seconds,
Oh, I don't know if Shannon's still here. I feel like this coming up one is one she might know, unless I'm wrong about.
we'll see.
I think the next one would be a good one, though. Which of these treasures have been theorized to be hidden in Oak Island, Nova Scotia, less than 80 kilometers from the city of Halifax? The Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant, original Shakespearean manuscripts, Marie Antoinette's jewels, or all of these?
So
I mean, it's
When-
kind of a giveaway in a way.
when you wrote this question, Dave,
Yeah.
did you know that? So have I told you the story that I have been on Oak Island
You never have.
with my parents?
Really?
Yeah, but we'll let this tally up. We'll see how this goes.
I mean, you could tell the story, I feel like, when you're...
I suppose so. So we were sightseeing in Nova Scotia, and
Yep.
we were literally driving by, and Shannon said, "Oh, that's the Oak Island. That's where they filmed the show." And we're like, "We don't know what you're talking about because I've never heard of this show." And but like I liked movie sets and TV sets. Oh, yeah, everyone knows. Whenever there's all of the above, that's the golden college trick.
The first time there's ever been an all of the above in this.
Yeah, you just pick all the above because
yeah,
that's the way that's going to go. So for those who don't know, Oak Island is a reality TV show. I don't know if it's only here in Canada or if it's. I assume it's.
No, it's on the History Channel.
On the History Channel, that's right. So it's in America.
No, I would say I've known about Oak Island for decades.
Okay,
in Canada,
so
kind of a famous thing.
I literally learned about it like 6 months ago when I was on it. When I was on the island is when I heard of any of this. And so we saw that, okay, so I enjoy TVs. I've been on TV sets, movie sets. I enjoy that kind of thing. I'm like, well, let me go.
Yep.
Let's go on. So they have built, for the production of the show, they built a land bridge to the island.
Okay, yeah.
So
they're
that's
like season 12 or something now. Like
it's like 9, I think. But
9, yeah.
But anyway, they built a land bridge so you can literally drive there. So this was in, I think, November, I want to say. October, perhaps. I immediately just did a hard left, turned on island. We drove on, and it looked very much, frankly, like every movie set that I've been on, where the security gates, for some reason they must have standard TV issue. Like, here's the security gate that you have for a movie set. But they turned us away, Dave, because they were filming that day. So if they weren't filming, they let people come and wander around. But they were filming that day. So
Shannon remarked in chat earlier that they no longer allow visitors on Oak Island.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. But it is a thing that...
well, it seemed like they inferred that because...
Although it's legitimate, it'd probably be a very boring place to visit, honestly, in a lot of ways.
Oh, for sure. But anyway, but up until that, I'd never even heard of Oak Island. So that's all I'm saying is that I am a bad Western Canadian boy who anything that happens east of Toronto is just like in the blah, blah, blah category. At least it used to be. But now...
I knew about Oak Island before I knew that Oak Island was in Canada. It was it's one of those like famous sort of mysteries.
Right. Like, frankly, Oak Island, if you haven't seen the show, it is on Art Bell level of conspiracy. And if we ever run out of Art Bell stuff, Oak Island could be its own episode of this show.
Yes. There is some legitimately interesting historical, like archaeological, research being done.
They are finding real things.
And they have actual real scholars and some stuff looking at some, like there's some real things and it's also mixed in with a bunch of History Channels,
right.
Fuck, I remember when History Channel was still history. How old? Yeah. Anyways, Paul, super chat.
If the next question's answer isn't 3, I'm dolphin diving straight into Mel's hole. Oh.
Well, good luck, Eddie. If you do, you're coming right back.
So a bit of trivia on this one is this software actually randomizes the question. So I don't even know, even though I know which is the correct answer, I don't know what the number will be for the next ones.
Yeah, we don't know. Oh, Shannon Q. I was asleep, but I woke up because, well, there you go. So you got to see the the Oak Island.
Mm-hmm. We talked.
I don't know how deep the money pit is now, Joe Hill. It's a good. It's deep. They've gone very deep.
Mel?
Well, I think I've let you know as much as I know about it. I certainly want to find out more. I'm mostly curious. I was mostly curious about the depth of it. I mean, how deep is the deepest hole anyone has ever found?
Well, I've never heard of anything deeper than this.
I thought maybe this would be like Guinness World Book of Records type hole here. And as far as things I thought it would be like. Could have been like an old mine.
Well, now here's a couple things to think about. I've heard as you go down into the earth, Mel, that it gets hotter.
Ooh.
Right? So you would think that your fishing line with a weight on it at some point would melt or, something, but there's still weight on it, huh?
Yep. You're not wrong, Art. It would
You're
be
not wrong, yeah.
thousands of degrees at that depth. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
The line
amazing.
is not moving freely. I mean, it still falls under its own weight.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's let some of the audience ask you questions.
Okay,
Awesome.
I think I can do that.
All right,
We got some
because I
calls,
just
Dave.
might be missing something. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel, who's got the hole in Washington.
Hello.
Hello. Do you have any questions for Mel? Hello? Okay, well, I guess that guy gave up. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Hello. Oh, you got a guest now?
I did. Well, I mean, sort of.
Oh well, I was calling about something.
All right, well, thank you. First time caller line.
Again, Art did not screen his callers, which is part
No
of the
call
charm of the
screeners.
show. Yeah, you just there you go.
But also,
And you're right, clever. The Russians dug in. We talked about it a little earlier, but yes, the Russians drilled until they literally started to melt. Yeah.
whatever show was happening. So let me see if I can find this back here. We got the first 2 hours of the show were Dr. Stephen Greer
Yes.
discussing the beginnings of the USO Disclosure Project, and this entire show just got derailed. So in the third
Yes.
hour, Art shares
the
a
facts
fact
came
he
in.
got from Mel Waters, so whatever Stephen Greer was talking about with his UFO Disclosure Project got entirely shelved on the fly.
The Stephen Greer stuff actually isn't bad either. We didn't listen to any of it, but it's not a bad, whatever. Either way.
Yeah, but it's just so
Yes.
the caller who was, it's a legit point. It's like normally, Art, during the call-in time, you let me talk about whatever you want, and Art's like, no, screw it. We're talking about the hole today.
That's about Mel's goal, yeah. Because here's the thing. So Art gets crazy ass people talking about crazy ass shit on his call-in all the time. Like just the most.
Mhm.
I remember one caller where a person literally talked about how they had caught a leprechaun in a shoebox, and Art was like, "I don't think that's true." Right? But like
I
that's
remember
the
that
kind.
one.
But Mel is well spoken. He has, he's like, oh, here's the thing. He's charismatic. He's articulate. He's giving real answers to these questions. So it's like Art's all over this. This is the perfect storm of like this random dude faxes in that he's got this 15-mile deep hole. Art's like, 15 miles. I want to talk to this guy. The guy calls, and he's not stumbling over his words, or it's like, well, that's it. Now we've got the Legend of Mel's Hole begins.
That's right.
Yep.
We're trying to keep it clear for you guys so you can all discover Mel's Hole naturally as you should.
Yeah, I
But
don't want to get into like some of the later. I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about some of the later calls. There's multiple calls, and this story gets so good. It gets so good.
It gets so good.
We
but
have to do at
but
this
we're
point. We're
doing
gonna have
it-
to do a sequel to Mel's Hole. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're doing it in order, so we're going to keep going.
You're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Mel.
Yes, Mel.
Oh, Mel. I wanted to talk to Art. I'm on the wrong line.
Yeah, you are.
I'm sorry. That's the 222 line.
1222 is first time caller line.
That's what I thought I was calling.
Well, that's what you got. But we're talking with Mel right now. He's the guy with the hole in Eastern Washington.
Okay. I just have something for Art.
All right. Well, call me back when we're
She
into
doesn't
open
realize
lines.
she's talking
Wildcard
to her.
line, you're
She
on the
thinks
air with
she's
Mel.
talking to a
Hello.
call
Hi, Art.
screener.
Dave in Milwaukee.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, I was listening to this. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I just wanted to let you know, I looked up in the encyclopedia, and the Marianas Trench, which is the deepest hole we know about,
That's in the ocean, right?
right, is 36,000 feet.
Right.
So this is, certainly over double that already.
Right. And it also says, undermining, that
36,000 feet from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. So it's quite a bit more than 36,000 feet below the level of Washington.
Below,
State,
yeah,
but
Washington State.
anyways, yeah.
Also, people
But
in
yes,
the chat.
it's very, very. He's not wrong though. That's significantly deeper than anything that human beings have.
It's true.
Any kind of,
We've had a few people in the chat, making jokes about, Washington, D.C. And of
Yes.
course, yes. But, even as Canadians, we understand that Washington State and Washington, D.C. are separate things. So, they're funny jokes, but,
Yeah. No, Washington D.C. is the capital of Washington State, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where the governors live. Or electors. How does that work?
I've been to both Washington State and Washington D.C. and they're not close.
Current technology, we can only go down about 1,600 feet.
Wow, that's great. That is great.
So you've got something here that already qualifies for Guinness.
That is wonderful. Gosh, I like that. That's great. You said 1,600 feet?
That's what they said, yeah. 1,640 feet, it says, with current technology is about as deep as.
All right. Thank you very much for that information. So already we now learn that you may have...
Which is a completely different thing. Yeah.
I also feel like information is in quotes at this point. This is basically... I feel like my chat is at least my chat has access to Google, and it's when I ask them a question.
Well, they're above average intelligence and, dare I say, sex appeal.
It's true. Mm-hmm. My audience is much hotter than Art Bell's audience. So.
Absolutely. No question. That's science.
Have a Guinness qualifying hole there, no question about it.
Gee.
But I want to know, inquiring minds want to know, I would think even if we just had somebody lowered past the 1,600-foot mark to see what's down there.
That would be cool, but it wouldn't be me.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't go down and no.
At least not while you're still alive.
No, then I will, but I mean, for the time being, no.
I understand. All right, east of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel.
What if the rope broke?
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Mel and I.
What if the rope broke? I feel like it doesn't need...
Right, Nancy. Damn right. Yeah, what if the rope broke? Yes. Paul, trivia question for you. You know where the phrase "inquiring minds want to know" comes from?
Inquiring minds want to know. Where did that come from?
Is the motto of something.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a brand.
No help, Chet.
It was a brand. I'm not going to make
it in your local grocery store when going through the checkout.
So is it National Enquirer?
The National Enquirer. It's the motto
There
of the
you go.
National Enquirer. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah.
All right. Which used to advertise. You know,
probably
National
one of my
Enquirer.
favorite Weird Al songs. Midnight Star. Yeah. Anyways.
I was able to take us down a whole rabbit hole about TikTok that I'm not going to bother because the hole is more interesting than the TikTok. Off we go.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from,
everything's
sir?
more fun.
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. All right.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you would like somebody to be lowered down into the hole.
That's right.
I would be willing to do that.
See, there you go, sir. A volunteer.
We've got a volunteer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously under certain conditions.
Like what?
Just a cage for one.
A cage?
A cage?
Yeah, just in the event that there's some kind of weird subterranean thing.
Like a shark cage?
I love this show so much, Paul. I love it. This is it. This is. I mean, I'll do it, but I want to gauge some fucking mole man.
Like that's not in my top 10 of things that I would be wanting. That's not in my.
I'm not worried about the temperature of the air or anything.
Because
I'm worried about those goddamn mole men down there getting at me. Taking my job.
Have you seen that Time Machine show? Because there's goblins who live in the middle of the earth, Dave. This is goblins.
Yeah, just carry on.
Eating all of this garbage down there. Obviously, I would want to be in some kind of a cage.
Well, what makes you think, though, that anything that could gobble up, say, a refrigerator...
Wouldn't get the cage? Well, I would have obviously a very powerful light, and I'd be able to see it at some point before it's too late.
So we'd have radio contact with you, and we could hear you scream at least.
Yeah.
Sounds too much
or
like
an
Jaws.
instant up button.
An up button?
An instant up button. On back.
Okay, so now we're imagining.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Now we're imagining a whole setup where they're up and down. Like this is now a winch system. I guess you would. I guess you can't lower. To be fair, you can't lower a volunteer down on your fishing line that has a 1 pound weight on the bottom.
That is where it starts getting tricky. You need some kind of steel cable, and the weight would be pretty. Oh, we got a super chat there. I remember listening to this on the radio for the first time, Paul, and I literally had to. I was driving. I had to pull over on the side of the road because I was laughing so hard, and I was just like, "Are you?" Oh, fuck, Mel's Hole. It's just the best. Anyways, sorry.
Wait, 97? Were you? I guess you're old enough to be driving around in 97.
I was graduated from high school at that point. Yeah.
All I want to say is that this is an episode. This is a series of episodes that they sometimes when Art would get sick or if there was like an unexpected whatever, they would replay episodes.
It's a daily show, so stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when Art needed emergency dental surgery because he super glued himself to something. Yeah. They would replay certain episodes, and this was one of the ones that was commonly replayed. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, if for people who are fans of Coast to Coast and the Art Bell, Mel's Hole is famous. It has I guess you'd call it a cult following, right? Like as your one call said, like I googled that number and what comes up.
That's right, 80,000. That's right, 80,000 feet of fishing line. It's like that's like little clippies in the corner saying, "Do you want to really just talk about Mel's Hole?"
Yeah.
Timothy
Harmon. We should read a super chat.
Did we miss it? Oh yeah, we did.
Mel was a shark fisherman.
That's right. So he would know about cages, maybe theoretically.
So if anyone's going to know about lowering someone in a cage, I mean, you don't really do that when you're fishing for sharks.
No,
you do it when you're filming sharks.
Like a high speed.
And you could take a camera with you.
Yeah.
With a light and show us everything as it.
Yeah. I've got a pretty adventurous nature to me anyway. So this plus I have a very appealing.
He's up. This caller's up for a lot of stuff. What Dave? Just pitch him something. He's up for it.
He's got
I'm up for it.
Got adventurous nature. Yeah. So I'm just saying, if there's any couples out there,
that's be it, or even Art and Mel. Like, hey, Art and Mel, I'm willing to go to cage, but afterwards,
pole to pole, hold to hole, whatever we're doing.
Yeah, I'm up for. I'm an adventurous sort. There was no internet back in these days. Well, there was kind of. Yeah. This was 2 years into the internet.
That's a good question, actually, Michael. I don't see the bends are when you're underwater, the pressures are obviously significantly. There's a whole bunch of issues that come up with that don't come up when you go deep in on water. And now we're going off topic with my dad for years. I don't know if Paul knows this. He, at one time in his life, before I was born, worked in gold mines and went. What? He's got some stories up in the Northwest Territories, and he had some ear issues and different things that have plagued him for many, many years, and it was a result of the pressure and going. But you can go much, 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 much deeper under air than you can in water. You don't have to worry about the bends and things like that when you're just going down in air. It's underwater where that is an issue. But I imagine there's probably even in air, there's got to be a level where that starts becoming an issue. The nitrogen mix, the nitrogen bubbles forming in your blood, things. It's a pressure issue, but obviously there's much more pressure underwater than there is under just atmospheres of air. Anyways, but yes, my dad worked in gold mines.
Do you have? You need to, Dave, have a project. Yeah. I don't know if you still do. You talk to your father quite regularly, quite frequently.
Yeah, daily.
You need to be like starting to like.
I should just like
and re-recording your dad because recording your dad with like, Dad, what are your top 15 stories? Because
he had a pretty crazy life. He
did.
Yeah.
So you need to, Dave, just for like the sake of humanity, need to be starting to record. I mean, God love him, your dad. Your dad hopefully has another 30 years. Hopefully, that would be great. But we got to start recording some of these stories so that we can, so that those can be preserved for the.
I should throw that. Like basically my Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah, that's right.
Just throw that out there. Yeah,
that would be. I tell you, I would subscribe to that podcast in half a second if you said, I'm just going to interview every week. Dad tell me a story. Boom.
Yeah. The other one, if you ever get into it, and you probably have some, our friend Shannon Myron, if you have talks with their dad, who I have had many conversations
I love,
with.
that gentleman is a favorite person of mine.
He has had some crazy ass stories.
Yes.
Him and his siblings, who have mostly all passed on, unfortunately. There's some, I don't know if it's a generational thing that kind of, what they call the greatest generation or go. There seems to be a lot of stories of just like, you just did this, huh? That's that kind of, okay. Well,
so
cool.
We've been watching, I don't know if you've been watching Last of Us. I've been watching Last of Us, and
I have. I almost threw you a bunch of spoilers.
Oh, that's right. So, and there will be no spoilers in this comment. But all that to say was that once again,
spoiler is you should be watching. No matter who you are or what you are, you should watch The Last of Us because it is one of the greatest films
so far.
Things.
So far. Yeah.
Who knows? And it's like there's no reason that they're going to blow it. I know the story of The Last of Us, so I know what's. Assuming they keep to the story of the game.
So, Dave, I don't know if you noticed when they sent out the review. So normally when they send out reviews to the critics, they send out the first episode. Sometimes the first 3 episodes. They sent out. This is it's never happened before. They literally sent out the entire season and said, "Go ahead,
the degree of
watch it
where
start to finish.
Yeah.
You review it based on the whole thing." Anyway, Last of Us. All that to say, if the zombie apocalypse happens, literally, I want to get to the individual you just spoke of, who's like 80 years old. I still want to go where that person is and be part of his posse, because that is the best chance of survival that I've got.
Chance to find some. Back in the days when I used to work construction, we used to make plans when we were bored on things about what we would do involving construction equipment and sea cans, and we were like, well, we'll go to Costco, get guns and ammo, go to Cabela's, this, and then we'll be good. We already live in a place where it gets minus fucking 40 degrees in winter, so that's a pretty good place to stop zombies. So we're fine. Just go down below ground. We've got earth moving equipment. We'll go 15 feet down. It's warm there all year round. We know where the aquifers are because we worked for an underground water and sewer company, so we know where the underground natural water sources are. You get bored at lunch, right? When you work construction.
That's right. Absolutely.
You come up with detailed plans for a zombie apocalypse.
All right. Are we at trivia time yet?
Sure. Why not?
Do you think we should, or should we keep going? We're going to go 5 more minutes.
We have 1 or 2 left. What was that last question for trivia?
I think that was number 6. I think so. I think this next
number 6. We only got 1 left. Well, let's maybe hold it. Let's hold it for the bottom.
We're going to hold it another. Bottom of the hour. Okay.
Bottom of the hour. We're going to force all of you to hang around so that you can win those amazing prizes.
Supernatural for something anyway, just naturally. My personality.
Well, nobody's saying there's anything supernatural about this, but
the dog.
The dog, yeah, I was going to say the
dog. Yep, the dog came back to life.
Something supernatural.
Well, that's true.
Everyone's dogs are scared of the hole.
Yeah,
it's not just my dogs.
No, that's a very good point. In other words, other dogs won't go anywhere near the hole, huh?
Yeah, my dogs will follow me everywhere. I mean, no matter where I go, they're
except
to the well.
Now you call
is this possibly at a grid point on the planet?
I wouldn't know about grid points other than I know they.
What is a grid point, Dave? Do you know what a grid point is?
I don't know. I assume he's talking about ley lines. I don't know what. That's so good for Mel being like, I have no idea what you're talking about. We'll see if Art has something to say.
Know anything about the grid points?
I know. Yes, thank you, sir, from Austin. I've heard about grid points, but I would have no way of knowing where they are and whether this is one of them. I wouldn't know. Now, this is just a hole, and he's right. There is something a little paranormal about it when you consider the dog story. I tell you. Well, here's somebody from Las Vegas, Mike, listening to Kicks, and who suggests that we throw a cat down the hole. Listen to the cat scream as it goes down. That's a horrible idea. I don't know about people who do that, throw down a cat. Oh, man.
Wait, does anyone in the chat know what a grid point is? Because I'm Googling grid points. It's like nothing even related.
I mean, Vishanti says ley lines. That's what I kind of assumed. It's some sort of ley line-ish situation.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's
I mean, you know what ley lines are, don't you, Paul?
No, I don't. What's a ley line?
You should have played more D&D. This is just... They're like mystical lines of energy. That's kind of what housing, where you use the rods to find water. It's like ley lines.
Divining rods?
Like
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's flows of energy under the earth that, like the Gulf Stream, or that just kind of naturally, there's energy, midichlorians, whatever you want to call it. And so they follow natural currents kind of around, and these are what's called ley lines, is where...
Okay, this is real or bullshit? Because this sounds like crap. What are you?
Oh no, this isn't real.
Okay, good.
It's very believed.
All right, it's put forth as real. Okay, but
right. Yeah.
You're right. Okay,
but that's
good.
kind of principle that things like divining rods, dowsing rods work on. Is you can follow these flows of energies. You can, set up crystals and.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
that's what ley lines are, which is a thing you will hear referenced in many, many, many different traditions and goes. There's ley lines that are like detectable flows of energy in the earth that you can follow, that are natural energy of whatever kind of thing, and you can tap into them in a variety of different ways, predominantly sexual. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
So LAY lines, I gotcha. All right.
Look, this is pre-Christian societies we're talking about. The cat.
You hear the echoes sort of going down. I'm not for that at all. All right, Mel, here comes some more people. First time caller line, you're on the air with Mel with the hole.
Art, why don't you have somebody, I know you're connected with somebody that's got radar available. Radar would be the way to go to find out the depth.
Well, would radar go down a hole
absolutely
without hitting the sides?
You don't need a fancy radar to do it.
You mean like what about sonar? No, I guess
no, sonar you couldn't use because you don't have anything for the medium to go through, like underwater for sonar.
Yeah.
But radar would definitely work.
In other words,
I was just curious if you'd call it government.
I mean, I'm no physicist, but I actually don't think radar is what you need to determine the depth of things.
No, so a radar ping very much can tell you the distance.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. I don't think it would be good for measuring because there would be too much,
Not
especially
a
over that kind of depth.
No, that's exactly right. The sides, because it needs to be able to, as my understanding, like the radius or the depth, the expanse of it will expand over the further it gets away from you. And so something like a hole is definitely going to cause bounce back based on the sides. Like I think,
I have family, uncles and cousins that are involved in geology and seismology and things, and I feel like there is seismograph, sound explosion kind of measuring waves tests that you could do, but it wouldn't involve radar at all.
Right, and actually, so the ones you're talking about are the ones that just travel through mediums like dirt and the earth just freely.
Yeah,
and then you actually you'd actually need something like you need something you'd have to assume that something was at the bottom to be able to reflect back.
Yeah, or throw an explosive down or something like that.
Yeah,
yes,
so
fair enough.
Yeah.
Ages come out.
But wouldn't radar return a hit from the sides of the hole?
Take a bio break, Paul. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And bounce around down there?
No. Purely directional radar. What are these when you're driving down the highway?
Well, you use radar, but that's out in the open. That's not in. I don't know enough about radar to know if that would work, but it's a good idea.
Well, I've used it for years, but that's the way to try it.
All right, that's how about a cop's radar?
I'm not sure if they'll return an echo off of that.
Cop's radar
possible.
All right.
Well, it would tell you how fast the hole was going, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you how fast. Cute,
Good job, Mel.
Wild card line. You're on the air with Mel. Hello.
This is pretty funny. Good evening, Mel.
Hi.
My name is Barry. I'm just hop, skipping, and jumping away from you down here in Yakima.
All right.
And I'm awful surprised I haven't heard of this before now.
Well, now Mel hasn't made this public, as far as I know. Have you, Mel?
No, it's just on my land.
I see.
So
my
until
neighbors know about it.
But I mean, wait. This is the first public announcement of the hole.
As far as I know, there's no newspaper accounts of it. Not in the Daily Record or in the.
Well, there will be now.
Herald.
There will be now.
Oh, well,
That's prophetic because absolutely the based on this call, based on what happened here, absolutely the media starts. I don't want to spoil future episodes if we talk about Mel's Hole Part 2, 3, and 4, but absolutely this becomes a media circus.
As usual, you've heard it here first, folks, on
That's
our
right.
bill.
That's
Before I get serious, I just wanted to kind of lighten things up here and ask if you'd considered making a contract with the refuse collection department from Yakima County. You could probably make a killing on that.
I read an article in the paper how they wanted to close down our local dump out here, and I almost seriously suggested.
All right, listen, here's another possibility for you. Do you know that I live near an area where there's supposed to be a high-level nuclear dump? Now, if this is really, in effect, a bottomless pit,
Whoa.
you may have something that the U.S. government wants.
So I could, rent this thing.
That's prophetic. I will just say that is prophetic.
You're damn right.
And move away as quick as possible.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to.
Much like when Jesus, in the same document, when Jesus predicts his own death, when Art Bell has a guest on and predicts that the military will be interested in what the guest has to say, you can bet that the next time the guest has something to say, some of these prophecies will be fulfilled.
To mention, you've got many mediums of technology, and the gentleman who suggested radar, I think, was onto something.
Mm-hmm.
Say for instance that Guinness came out and was going to, they're pretty thorough with their investigation before they're going to print you.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Anyways, maybe the way to go is to.
Well, I appreciate Timothy. Yeah. Thank you, Timothy. I'm glad you're excited about future holes. I know that the story sounds big at this point. The story just expands. So I'm glad that you're all excited with us, along with me and Dave.
You mean Dave and I?
You're excited? No, because you'd be excited with me. That's the way. No, you'd be excited with me. It would be Dave and me, not Dave and I. Yeah. Timothy's excited about future episodes. That's the point. That's really
that
the
is
thing that matters.
There, Mel's hole goes so deep, Timothy, so deep,
both metaphorically and literally.
Fun stuff.
All right, so I also will need a bio break soon, but I feel like before we do that, that we should do
Just
the
want to throw it
trivia.
to chat. I have brought an entire half bottle of rum. That if people step up, I'm willing to,
perfect.
Do what I got to do about it.
If we do, Dave, this is a chance. So
you've been doing shots, and I've been doing shots, so I feel a little behind. Yeah,
but this is an episode we could actually complete if we get, if we
could
have the right momentum. I just want to
we
say
stop
that, but I feel like
10 fucking seconds.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we should wrap up the trivia game, though. Do you think we should wrap up the trivia? Or no, you said
I feel like we
bottom
should
of
wrap
the
up
hour.
the trivia game. People love the trivia, yeah.
Okay, so let's
wrap up the trivia game. You can take a bio break, and then we're going to power through the rest of this episode. Sound good, friend?
Yes, I think that is great. So we are going to trivia break. We're going to resume the game. So get your trivia fingers, get your trivia brains, because we're on the last question. Hopefully everyone who is in the running has stayed this deep.
This sausage-shaped cryptid has no arms or legs, lives beneath the ground, and only rarely surfaces to hunt. It is so poisonous that even touching it means instant death, and it can shoot electricity to kill at a distance. It is A, the Mongolian deathworm, B, the Brosno dragon, 3, Shai Halud or 4 Ogopogo?
I feel like you said B when you meant 2.
Yeah, I did. Just Paul.
Oh, well,
fucking
if people can't translate that at this time of night and of intoxication levels, then fair
praise
enough.
the maker. Yes.
We're deciphering.
I mentioned how tremendously excited I am about Dune Part 2 and how deeply I love the Dune universe.
Well, I feel like maybe not. Well, let's figure this out. But right now we're focused on trivia. We're
nothing to do with Dune in any of those. Yes.
Oh my goodness! So
almost
we have a lot of winners.
It is the Mongolian death worm. Yeah.
So you didn't throw people enough off the scent on. So I think now what's going to happen is we will get calculations.
I like the Ogopogo references. Ogopogo, for people who don't know, is it's basically the Canadian version of Loch Ness.
That's right.
It's in. Do you remember the lake it's supposed to be in? Is it the Shuswap? I can't remember.
I don't recall.
Yeah. Anyways, it's basically the Canadian version of Loch Ness Monster.
So, why is the game not?
Oh, I want it to be 3-2. Hellbound Hillbilly.
So that was the last question, right, Dave?
That was the last question.
So let me.
Praises, comings, and goings.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Who is the Vishanti? Is the
oh my goodness?
Well, we have a 3-way tie for first.
No. Vishanti's number. So based on time. So
okay.
Carson is number 2. Dapper Dano's number 3. But Vishanti, who, well Vishanti
big congratulations to Carson and Dapper Dinosaur, but they didn't.
That's right.
And everyone else was sheeple.
And congratulations to all the sheeple who also participated, and presumably more beyond that. But these are the top sheeple.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Vishanti is our winner for the evening. So congratulations, Vishanti. Vishanti is a patron of the channel, so she will be able to find me to claim her prize.
Yes. Choose any piece of merch. Now, last episode, you offered to also make a special piece of Toast to Toast merch if it was requested.
I did. So, yes, Vishanti, if you would like a Toast
Which
to
is
toast.
me throwing out there because I want you to have Toast to Toast merch in your store, just in general.
All right. Well, we could have Toast to Toast. We
But
could
I'm not gonna
potentially.
buy.
I might be willing to come up with a Mel's Hole design. That's possible too. But
Paul's super creative.
No,
he can draw a hole like you wouldn't believe, just like
right.
the best hole. He thinks about them constantly.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone for playing trivia. Our game, our evening is not done. It
is not.
We have more minutes left to get to the end of our first Mel's Hole.
Yes,
so
I want to hear more about Mel's.
But I'm going to bio break, so Dave, you're just going to have to straight up talk over.
Shut the fuck up. I want to hear Mel.
To have someone lower in a sensors package, which is something that measures for noxious gases, temperature, and I'm sure they could focus a radar, probably pencil thin, and just hook it up to a endless supply of cable and lower it down. I think that'd be awful interesting.
Look, I'd be interested, even if we don't get a hold of the guy from Austin, to lower a camera and a light down.
When I was out there this evening, it's kind of a sort of a full moon out there, and one of the things that occurred to me is maybe this has some sort of astronomical type thing.
What do you mean, Mel?
Well, it's like how the various pyramids and things in Egypt, are supposed to be lined up on various star systems or whatever.
Well, was it a thing like where the moonlight was shining into the hole?
Well, no, but I just happened to notice the full moon, and all of a sudden it just sort of put 2 and 2 together there.
You've never felt drawn to the hole personally, have you? I mean, in terms of
you mean in terms of some sort of spiritual involvement, or
no suicide? No suicide.
No. I mean, I keep the lid on it there because it's an attractive nuisance. You don't want local kids there climbing on the wall and falling in.
There's actually no way of knowing whether people have gone in. Because they'd be gone.
Not in my
down with a refrigerator.
Again, if I can find out something from the local Native Americans on, maybe with some sort of burial thing, or
And you can drop a big rock, and you can hear it going down, probably bouncing off the walls or something, but you never hear a splash.
You never hear a splash. I've even taken old television tubes, the picture tubes, and
you've dropped picture tubes down
there.
Yeah,
I've dropped. I hate to say this here, but I've dropped more than one of them down there, and I've never heard it implode or anything. Nothing.
EPA.
You missed the part. So Art asked Mel, "Is like, well, you've ever felt any attraction or desire to go?" And Mel's like, "What?
Wait, attraction, not sexual attraction to the hole."
Yeah, well, Art, that's what Mel's like. You talking like spiritually or like worshiping? And Art's like, "No, suicide." just like that. And Mel's like, no, I keep a grate on top to make sure that nobody accidentally falls in. I don't want a kid or anything here. That's all. Yeah.
I thought maybe you meant, are you sexually attracted to the hole? And because it's a 9-foot radius. I'm just saying that I'm not sure that Mel.
No, 9-foot diameter, Paul.
9-foot diameter. Even so, I'm not sure Mel has the girth personally.
No,
to do
anything. Just like, what are you talking like? What do you mean?
All right, but so Art suggested that you might want to kill himself by throwing himself in the hole.
I was like,
all right.
No.
Well, I'm guessing now we're demonetized. Now now this whole thing is just out the window.
That's it. Now we just blew it.
Yep.
Shoot, sorry.
You probably shouldn't.
But now you can just say whatever you want because.
Just say whatever we want.
That's
Everybody
right.
in chat, just throw whatever you want.
That's right, because
it doesn't matter anymore.
Say that on the air.
Well,
they'll come and get you for that. I mean, TV tubes.
Well, it is my.
It's your own.
I remember when TV tubes was a big deal. You couldn't just dispose of those any way you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Property, I know, but these days, Mel, doesn't make any difference. I mean, tomorrow morning you're liable to wake up and there'll be tanks in Boutros Ghali will be there.
That's true.
All right, east of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel.
Hi, WKXY, Sarasota.
Sarasota, Florida, yes.
Let me say, let's throw Mike from Las Vegas down the hole.
Really?
Okay? Yeah. Okay, he's the cat. Okay. I do have a question for Mel. You're a fisherman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever felt a tug on the line, and if you did, what would you do?
I don't have a hook on it. There's just a large, there's a 1 pound weight.
Yeah, but she's saying if something obviously was pulling on that line.
What would I do?
Yeah. I'd run.
Yeah.
I'd seal that damn thing up, and I'd never get near it again.
Yeah, I'd put the lid down on it at that point there and say, that's it, the dump is closed.
And at any point, did you ever pull up the weight and look at it?
Yeah, I asked that too.
The first series of letting down line, when I got about 4,500 feet down there, I had a roll of lifesavers down on the bottom to determine if there was any water down there. And of course, if there was water, the lifesavers would melt. I didn't do that. But since that time, I've let the line continuously go down. I've just spliced on to the end of the line and
just trying to find out where the bottom is.
Yeah, that was my main question. It's like, how deep is this thing? Where does it go? Well, it goes into the earth, but how far does it go before it'll stop?
All right, thank you, ma'am. I think,
Paul,
David,
when you were plumbing the depths of a hole, have you ever wondered how deep it would go, or felt a tug? And if you did feel a tug, what would you do?
Let me tell you,
inquiring minds want to know. Paul.
If I was plumbing the depths of a hole and felt a tug,
yeah,
I would definitely be concerned.
I would definitely put a ring on that. What? Sorry, who's saying what? All right. Well,
demonetized.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, we're already demonetized.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yep.
No, I'm not going to demonetize. What about that's going to get me demonetized?
No, that's the funny part. Is that literally that part? Nothing. It's like but the suicides. The
Woody Allen was right. Sorry, what?
that a light and a video camera. I mean, Mel, you could have a special as you got down past what did they say was the deepest hole? 1,600 feet.
1,600.
So
What's happening now? What are we doing?
now Art wants to send a video camera down. The thing about video cameras back then is that you'd have either needed a 15-mile RCA cable,
or put down like a camcorder with battery until the battery stops working.
right? Or you would have needed to literally be able to pull it up, like so that you could retrieve the tape. Afterwards,
which would not have been digital.
No, but that there weren't a lot of great options back then to deal with that.
As you got down past 1,600 feet, you'd have a network special on your hands, Mel.
That would be good. I'm thinking about putting up a web page on it there if I get one of those.
What's his name? Rivera.
GeoCities.
I'm thinking of putting up a web page, Dave. That's how big a deal this is. I gotta put up a web page.
I get a free one with my AOL account. So
AOL didn't exist in '97, I don't think.
No, it definitely existed in '97. I call bullshit on that. All right. Now we got to Google it. Now the whole show shuts down while Paul and I quibble about.
That's right. 85. Okay, so really? Yeah. How can that even be? Prime. Oh, because they did pre. No, because you're right. They had a whole private chat thing that wasn't even TCP/IP.
Yeah. I remember I had coasters that were the AOL CDs that they would send to
right.
you.
And it wasn't until much later that they actually said, fine, like, because they actually had to build, you're right, they had to build bridges between TCP/IP and what AOL was doing, because AOL was doing something entirely. I stand corrected.
I don't know what. Yep.
I stand corrected. Dave is right.
And they'd lower him into the hole.
Only if we were all lucky. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Yeah, this is Terry from Bremerton.
Hello, Terry. Oh, you're up in Washington again, yeah.
You're right. Well, I was wondering about how much does 15 miles of fishing line weigh?
I have no idea. I'm just letting that sucker go down. I have not reeled
what
it
if you've already hit the bottom and you got a pound of fishing line on it? You
That's right.
Letting it down.
Yeah, I
already hit the bottom.
That's a good point. Like when let's say the hole was 5 miles deep.
Sorry, I'm laughing because constantly we get about 10 seconds into this and just stop because every bit of it is like this is just gold. We can talk an hour about every. Anyways, yes. Go around.
If it was 5 miles deep and it hit the bottom, the weight would just continue. Like the thing would just keep coiling.
Yeah,
you wouldn't know.
Presumably, the light. Well, there's enough weight. Yeah, the line would just keep itself. There's enough weight on the fishing line that it would just. Keep it. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yes.
Okay.
I should weigh one of those spools because I'm getting them.
Yeah, I do too. Oh man, we're old.
And 5,000 yards.
You and me, but we were on the information superhighway in like old days. Back in the days when you basically had to know Linux/Unix too.
Yeah, like pre-HTML, like before
pre-Linux,
the web.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's right. We were using Unix, proper Unix.
Yeah, and I'm younger than you, but it's like I remember those days when like we talked about in a previous show is like I remember like had a phone that you put the phone cradle like on the modem and it'd be like 1400 baud.
Oh, luxury, the 1400 baud.
1400, that's Paul and I are old and we were nerds and we were big
I remember
computers.
Waiting for my 2088 modem to show up.
What was your first computer, Paul, in your household?
The first computer in my household was an Apple IIe.
Mine was an Amiga 500. We were never Apple, but we had Amiga computers, which was a whole. They've disappeared now, but that was a whole other like basically
and it was
Commodore to Amiga.
Right. It was that was the different branch. The Amiga was much later. The first computers that I worked on were Commodore 64s, I believe.
I had many cousins and friends with Commodore 64s.
Yeah,
that was like the first computer I really had experience. I never had any experience with any of the early Apple stuff until. much
Well, my
later.
parents, as you know, my parents were teachers. And so
Yes.
Apple
Yeah.
at the time was strongly courting teachers. And so we
Mhm.
got significant discounts because my parents were teachers to go the Apple route. So that was that probably started me on the whole Apple brand, versus other things. But
Fucking nerd.
this is now boring talk that no one cares about.
Yeah, we're losing the audience.
Yeah.
We'll throw these computers in the hole.
And so I should weigh a spool and sort of
20,
deduct the cost of the spool itself and see what that would add up to in terms of how much that weighs.
Miles.
So in other words, it could have hit bottom some time ago, and simply the pure weight of the line.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it is reached bottom there. There's no slack in the line.
But even so, well, there might not be with that much weight. But even
Exactly.
if that's true,
This is a good
caller,
point.
think
Yes.
about it.
Did you want to say something? You're just nodding your head.
No, I'm just like, yep, good point.
Yep.
Still got the deepest hole ever heard of in the world.
Yeah, he does. But the weight of the line would keep pulling the line down.
Yeah. But there would be so much line down there by then. But
What pound test line is it?
I'm using 20 pound. I
20
couldn't
pounds.
afford
Do
to
you
go
think
much
you have
higher.
20 pounds of line on it already?
Pardon me?
Do you think you have 20 pounds of line in the hole already?
I love this Copper. This little comment from Copper. Throw them in like ET cartridges. There's a niche comment that I enjoy.
Yeah, that's very good. I get it. I get the reference.
I get it. Cheers to you.
Sure, there's more line than that.
It would break by then.
We're talking how many?
There must be a lot of
I have
tension.
about 20 spools
A
of
lot of
line.
tension on that.
Yeah.
20 spools of line on there.
Wow.
And it's still hanging on there. I'm that weight continues to go down. I don't know if there's a way of weighing that thing, as it is.
Yeah, I was just interested in how much the line would weigh itself.
I could probably do that. Get one of those hanging scales.
Sure.
And spring operated and stuff, and just sort of knot it off up there.
Yeah, why not? It's worth a try. And the other thing that's worth a try, I suppose, although you'd be cranking for a long time, would be to crank it back up again.
Well, no, I could just weigh like one spool of line and multiply it. I think I'm up to about like 18 spools of line right now. So
he's a math genius, Dave. I can just no Art. I don't need to write it back up. I can weigh one line and multiply.
Would you call him a math magician, Paul?
No, I would not.
Is that maybe you should? Maybe you should.
it wouldn't be too hard to get a weight on it.
All right. You'll report back to us on that?
Yeah, I can. Sure, definitely.
All right.
Yes,
All
definitely.
right. First time caller line. You're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Where are you?
I'm Bellingham, Washington.
Yes. Oh, Washington again. Yeah. Yes.
I was wondering
West Coast
what
is
was
still
the Mel said that he had a triangular 1 pound weight on the end of the line.
You're right.
Yeah, I was wondering what elements was that weight, or is that weight composed of?
It's a standard lead fishing weight.
You were talking earlier. Al was talking earlier about the heat when you get deep into.
Well, I was speculating. I saw the movie with Pat Boone about the journey to the center of the Earth. It's supposed to get hot when you go down, right?
Yeah, and also, what about the magnetism? That's a factor you consider also.
The magnetism?
Yeah.
You're off into a territory that I can't answer. Mel, you're gonna contact your wife works for a university,
yeah,
huh?
a local university.
Have they? I mean, did she tell them about this?
No.
And if so, what did they say?
Well, the people.
She's a parking
Not
attendant.
to disparage janitors, but it's like works for a university. What the fuck does that mean?
But also, it doesn't matter. No, she's a PhD. She's the lead of the literature department. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, there's she's the vice president of the whole university. Like, it doesn't matter.
She's a PhD in geophysics. Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I guess then I'll listen to her.
Yeah,
but-
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But most of the people work at university would have no more to say on than you or I.
Exactly right.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
People she talked to, because I nag her about it occasionally, say,
Sure.
they're telling her, you don't have a whole day that
Who
deep,
don't know me?
So, in other words, they don't believe her.
No. And what I'm trying to do is, kind of entice them out there and just bring something out there to measure how deep it is.
Well, Mel, would you be?
So the Zictomorph says report back with one picture. That is actually so 97% 97.
This was 97.
Was just the very start of digital cameras, but like just the very touch of like I had a digital camera that literally had a 3.5 inch floppy drive on it.
Yes.
You know, those kind of digital cameras, and they were taking, you know, like 0.
It was a curiosity at the time.
0.2 megapixel.
Cool.
It's taking
Yeah.
The lowest res I had was 640 by 480. Like the first camera I had was like literally taking 640 by 480 photos. You know, like less than a megapixel. But yeah, that's no one expected pictures of these things. Like if they got a picture, it was like a Polaroid, and that was the best that anyone got. So this was a time when these kind of things could. I'm not sure this Mel's Hole could have happened in 2023. Let's just put it that way.
Willing to talk to like newspaper people or television people? They're crazy. They'd send someone down there.
Well, I know I'm talking to a lot of people on the phone right now and on the radio, but I am not sure if I'd want to have a TV crew and
So you're not sure you want that kind of publicity?
No, I mean, I'd be happy to, like I say, I could put together a website on it and keep people, informed about what's going on because I'm sort of making this my.
People would accuse you of going to the well one time too many.
That's probably true.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Hello there. That is absolutely amazing. All right, that's Ken from Scottsdale.
Yes, sir.
And one thing I wanted to mention about that, you mentioned about a car that had apparently fallen from the sky.
The Chevrolet, yeah.
Right. I recall reading about many, many incidents in England and throughout Europe of raining nuts of different kinds. I mean, Brazil nut, hazelnut.
Sometimes it rains nuts on my program. Listen, we're not talking about things falling from the sky right now. We're talking about a hole.
Right, I know. Well,
We've put our whole show on hold because someone sent us a fax about a hole that may or may not exist. So get off here with your nuts.
Don't do it, Webb. Don't Google where this goes because I promise you, just enjoy it as it's coming.
That's right.
Because the whole saga is
no spoilers.
Exquisite.
That's right.
It's so good. It's like reading the last page of a mystery novel. You'll get it, but it's so much more enjoyable to just read the whole story as it happens. Yeah.
It was
Paul and I have been studiously avoiding, sometimes biting our tongues to not talk about some of the things that come later, and sometimes we haven't been able to help ourselves. But yeah.
But now you switched it.
Well, I've switched it because I have Mel.
Oh, well, anyway, as far as the hole goes, isn't it possible there could be like an aquifer or something in their water or something?
Mel has not found any water at all. He lowered lifesavers in, and the lifesavers came back, and that was how far, Mel?
4,500 feet.
4,500 feet, and the lifesavers came back intact, right?
Oh, yeah, they were absolutely dry. They weren't dissolved. They were just perfect.
Pretty definitive. First-time caller line, you're on the air with Mel. Hi.
Mel?
Hi.
Hi, this is Conrad in Grass Valley, and I've got some thoughts about this whole well problem.
Sure.
First of all, if he's putting line down the well...
Wait a minute, sir. We've got to stop this.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Because people are going to call it a well. There has never been any water found in this hole.
Okay, a hole.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. If he started out with a 1 pound weight and he starts adding fish line to it,
right,
then the amount of weight down the hole increases. All right. Now, if he knows the weight of the line on a per foot basis, as he puts more weight down the hole, if he could measure the total strain on the top of or load on the top of the line, he would know if any of that line was draped on anything. See, the thing is, once he gets a fair amount of line down there,
that's a good point.
The 1 pound weight on the end is insignificant, and he wouldn't even. It could be hung up on something or laying on the bottom or something, and he would never know it.
Yeah, but he put lifesavers down 4,500 feet. So even if what you're saying is true, this is still by.
So now I'm doubting the lifesaver story because if he sent the lifesavers down, If he
What have I
the
missed?
life-
He sent light tippers down.
So actually, the caller is making an excellent point. It was like you need to. He said you don't know if this line is potentially hung up on something, which was the same point I was making when I said, "Well, what if the thing is only 5,000 feet deep, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So the caller was saying, "Well, you need to know what the weight per what the weight per foot of the line is, or yard,
Right.
or however much, so that you can check up top the force which is being pulled, right? Like, because that's a thing you can measure.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would know whether the full force of the line is pulling on, like whether it's whether the weight at the bottom is still free hanging or not. And that's a really good point.
Yep.
So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Also, there's a lot of old school Doctor Who references in the chat, and I appreciate that. Moving on.
The deepest hole ever.
Well, that assumes it's even that deep. The one thought that you had that I thought was very valid was the temperature as you go farther down into the ground.
Well, that's what I think that's right, isn't it?
Oh yes, of course. By the time it's down 4,000 feet in the ground, where the temperature would probably be well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
If the 100, well, the monofilament and the lead would certainly survive 100 degrees just fine. You're probably right. That is interesting. Mel, I say that we got to put a person down there, a volunteer.
Not a cat.
No, not a cat. No cats. But a person, maybe like a media person. One of these anchors from maybe one of the Seattle Como stations or something. Lower them down.
Oh boy.
That's right. Phil.
Again, I'm intrigued. Again, I've been running line down there for quite a while, and I don't think I've hit bottom. The weight seems to be hanging plumb over there, and like I say, we've been throwing things down there for a long time, and this hole has not filled up. I don't know. Maybe it's getting incinerated down there. I don't know.
All right, and you would swear on all that is sacred to you that what you have told us is the absolute, unadulterated truth.
This is my hole, and this is the truth about it.
God, it's an amazing story, Mel. Who else besides your wife, the people you've tried to talk to at the university, and yourself? I guess your neighbors know about the hole?
Oh yeah. There's probably good. Oh well, in terms, not families, but individuals. Probably a good 20 people that use the hole regularly
to throw junk into.
Yeah. It's always been done.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, I used to like to throw stuff off bridges and stuff like that, and into holes just to hear it hit bottom.
Ain't never heard anything hit. I mean, if you hit the side, of course, but if you just drop it straight down, yeah,
9.5 feet.
To go straight.
9.5 feet is certainly large enough so that if you got in the center and dropped it straight down, it would go straight down, right?
Yeah, you can just lean right over there and get it going straight down. And as far as anything I could see, visually, with the halogens and flashlights,
the light just fades away into blackness.
Yeah, you've got nothing after a while. You can see as far as the beam will go, and that's it.
Does anybody have any theories about? You said a dog was thrown into the hole, dead, and then came back alive again, right?
The story is the guy was out hunting and he saw his dog, and he knew it was his dog because it was the same dog. It had the same collar, it had the same tag on it, and the whole thing.
Oh man! Does anybody have any theories about what properties would be in the hole to resurrect a canine?
God,
some people do. Some people definitely do.
But again, it's funny that it's hour 3 of the show, and that's the first we're asking is, wait, how does a whole resurrected dog?
Well, Paul. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's only so much that mortal man can understand.
I understand, but it seems like a question that maybe could have come up sooner. But let's carry on. We're almost done here.
I'd like to think that this is something like really benign, like, cows have gone down there. I mean, I haven't heard any cows coming back, or at least that you would know, but I don't,
Well, it's not the creator. Well, look, we're out of time. Mel, you get the honors from near the hole in Washington State.
Oh, and that was the end, because the rest was copyright music, so I had to let it go.
Yeah, you had to go. But that's the end of it. Our signs off. Yeah.
Yep. So wow, Dave. So that was part 1 of Mel's Hole, the very first time
That
Mel
was the
on the show.
introduction to the world of Mel's Hole.
So in future, if we go down, and let us know in the chat, let us know in the comments if you want to have more. So
Dark is an amazing show, by the way.
There are 4 episodes. There are at least 4 episodes where Mel came on and the expanding
3 more.
story.
Yeah.
3 more. If you're interested in part 2, let us know in the comments, or maybe you're bored of holes. We won't do it immediately. The next one won't be the hole, but we'll maybe revisit it.
Yeah,
again,
we'll probably
in
do
future.
something else, but then maybe come back to Mel's Hole.
Which this was just
some
the beginning.
Oh man, Paul, some of the future Mel's Holes episodes. It's so good.
Chef's kiss.
Like it's so good. Yeah.
All right,
there's
so
a lot of people saying we need more of Mel's Hole, but I feel like if you stuck around for us this long, I don't know how you can listen to this and not want more of Mel's Hole.
That's right. Well, so I mean, if anyone is just you can. We don't recommend it if you want to save the spoilers, But if you're the kind of person who loves spoilers, you could look up Mel's Hole on your own, I suppose.
You could, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Like, unless you're just going to listen to it. I mean, it's not like we have any kind of like super secret access to this. You could just listen to these episodes.
You can,
yourself.
You can, but and I agree, Michael. The chat has been so nice. Appreciate.
So nice.
We have.
Well, I will say, I did bring this whole bottle of rum down here, and nobody super chatted, so I never had a chance.
Oh man. Now you'll just have to drink for your own reasons, I guess.
Just my crippling depression.
That's right. So, Dave, when we get to the end of these episodes, sometimes you offer up a bit of moment of levity.
Oh, okay. So I have something a little special. So I have a, Chat GPT, right? Everyone loves the AI chat. So got AI chat to write a joke for me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes, which I am going to relate to you now. Let me just pull it up here because I thought this was quite spectacular.
You lazy bastard. Okay, let's go.
Lazy bastard. Yeah. This was I've been holding on to this one for a while because it's so good that I wanted to.
Okay. I can't wait. Is it with Mel's Hole? I'm all ears.
So I told the ChatGPT, write a because Paul and people, I like longer jokes than short.
Yes,
short jokes are good too. I like a good long.
You want to savor it. You want to savor the joke. Yeah. Anticipate.
I've
been
running a lot. The moth joke was one of them. I like a long joke. That's my.
It's your personal preference. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I said, hey, ChatGPT, write me a long joke with a simple punchline.
Okay.
This is what I got. Okay.
All right.
Group of friends are on a road trip and they come across a sign that says low bridge ahead. The driver, who is a little absent-minded, says, I wonder why they named that bridge that. One of his friends replies, I think it's because it's a low bridge and it is ahead of us. The driver says, oh, I see. That makes sense. A few miles down the road, they come across another sign that says low bridge ahead. The driver, confused, says, wait a minute, didn't we just pass this bridge? His friend replies, no, that was a different low bridge. This one is ahead of us. The driver, still confused, says, I don't understand. How can there be 2 low bridges in such a short distance? His friend replies, I think it's because they're trying to dupe us. They're trying to low bridge us. End of joke. So that among my circle of friends, that has become a anytime anyone's like, they're trying to low bridge us. So anyway, I think comedians' jobs are safe for a little while. AI is maybe you're not so good at writing jokes. They're trying to low bridge us.
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate that on its own level. That's great.
Yeah, like literally up until the punchline, it's like, yeah, everything about this is hitting the beats of like a traditional
long joke.
You're going, you have the friend, you're blah, 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 and then you hit the punchline, you're just like, what? They're yeah, okay. Cool.
This is season 1, Next Generation Data. Try to tell a joke. Yep.
Well, he's doing his best. What was Data's evil brother? The first
Lore.
Lore? No, Lore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Low bridged once again. Yep. So there we go.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much
for hanging out with us and exploring with us part 1 of Mel's Hole and all the joy that is Art Bell. We are Dave and I think we're going to continue on now to explore the universe, the Art Bell expanded cinematic universe that leaves behind perhaps some of the religious connotations, because that wasn't some of Art's favorite stuff. It is a joyous program that we enjoy, and Dave and I.
So like this is why I loved Coast to Coast, because this was a fax somebody sent in, and Art's like, holy shit, this is crazy. Hey, if this guy's out there in the world, call me. And this guy calls him.
Right.
And then they just have this conversation, and like all of this just spins off this. And that was why Coast to Coast was such, like, it was an amazing show, because this kind of shit happened where Art's just like, fuck, you've actually met Bigfoot? Call me. And the guy would call and talk about the time he met Bigfoot and how they have Bigfoot babies. Like, that's the kind of stuff that happened on Coast to Coast AM. And it's, I don't know if you could have this show anymore. I think it was a product of its time.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, the show exists, but it's not the same.
No, it is a pale shadow of itself. I read somewhere that Coast to Coast AM had went from, it was something like 45 million, 35 million, something like that, average viewers. Now it's like something like 2 million.
Oh, okay.
Like,
which
when
is
George Norrie took over, it just, because if you listen to it now, it's nothing but pushing products and ads. Like, it's horrible. It's painful to listen to. It's just ad after ad and him constantly pushing, buy this thing. It's,
yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. Whereas Art would just go off on these like, oh, wow, okay, whatever. Let's do this thing. Right. And yeah.
Right. It was 4 hours and there was nothing else on. Like the whole nation, the entire continent of North America, no one else was even bothering to do a show from midnight till 4 a.m.
No. And it's, like it's people our age older will get it, but it's like younger people, there was no internet. Not really. So it was like you were either watching infomercials on TV, you were watching white people fail to roll up a garden hose correctly.
Right.
Or you were watching 2 white guys boxing. Or you were listening to Coast to Coast.
Right, but also not only, but those, even that had an end. Like our stations, there was a certain time. No one remembers this. Well, people remember it, but some of you won't remember a time when they would literally play the national anthem because the broadcasting was done for the day.
And for 6 hours, like, there would be nothing. Like, you would go to the station and they're not showing repeats. They're not showing it. Like, there's just nothing.
Right. So.
And
the only entertainment you had,
it would start up again.
That's right.
Yeah.
So AM radio, Art Bell's show was the only thing that the entire continent could listen to that was happening live.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Dave. Well, as always, it is such a pleasure to hang with you. So I appreciate.
We didn't get a chance to talk about DCU. I guess we have to start our second channel again. We really need to. Maybe just throw
panel to frame can come back up. DCEU. So there's 5 TV shows and 5 movies that were announced. Now phase 1, he seemed to alluded that phase 1 may well have more projects in this, and those are the ones that are there. So the TV shows. So first we have the animated show, which I've totally forgotten the name of.
So a bit of background. Nobody listening will know this. There's zero reason. I have always been a Marvel fan.
Right.
I was a Marvel guy. And this was a thing back in the 80s and 90s between hardcore nerds, which is what Paul and I are. You were DC or you were Marvel. It was like PC or Mac, Nintendo or Sega, right? I was a Marvel guy. Paul has always been a DC guy.
Yes.
And there was a time when DC had all the good movies and Marvel had absolutely shit. That obviously has changed. And now the MCU is everything, and the DCU has been a joke for years.
And would you agree with me, Dave? It's fair to say that what most people, so that's not a reflection necessarily on the quality of the characters.
No.
But certainly in terms of the movie realm, the quality of the Marvel movies have been better than the Marvel movies.
The DC movies?
DC
certainly in the
movies.
last 20 years, the Marvel movies have, there's no comparison. There's no realistic comparison you can make between the two.
No, absolutely not. So,
with the exception of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, which are amazing.
So, the first thing that interested me there, Dave, was that the Flashpoint, which was filmed years ago at this point.
Yep.
So, let me say the thing. James Gunn has this weird thing where he is now the co-CEO of DC Studios, but they have 4 movies coming out that he had nothing to do with.
Yes.
And he just has to, as the CEO of this company, pretend that he's excited about.
Yeah, because I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars were spent on these movies. They're happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's these movies that are coming out that he has to just. So, Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2, Flashpoint, and one more that I'm blanking on for a second.
Aquaman 2.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Flashpoint in the comics was a reboot of the entire DC. So DC's had several reboots. They had
has Marvel.
As has Marvel. So Flashpoint was a recent reboot of the entire universe. So interestingly, James Gunn, new creative CEO of DC, is handed this Flashpoint movie, which from all reports actually is a phenomenal movie, despite the fact that when they filmed it, Ezra Miller was a normal human being. But they are now no longer a normal
appeared to be.
Or appeared.
Yeah.
No one else knew that Ezra Miller was not a normal human being. So
was just creepy as fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have gone off the deep end. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
James Gunn inherited this Flashpoint movie that by all reports is a phenomenal film, or at least a good film. So what I'm imagining I'm predicting at this point that will eventually come out is that the end of the Flashpoint film, which was supposed to reset the universe, I am expecting that James Gunn's crew has already, if not will soon, be refilming the last couple of minutes of that film so that Flashpoint will reset to the James Gunn universe.
Yes.
So that's
that
trivial.
What is implied by his?
Yeah. So I'm guessing that all happens. So the announcements. Well, I don't even know what the question is. I'm just now ranting on DC. So
we're just talking about. There is no question, Paul. We're just talking about DC.
Okay. So I'm excited. So there's several. So let's go through the films first. So there's Superman Legacy.
Yep.
I don't know what will happen there. I'm confused because we now know that
you nor I are especially big Superman fans specifically. So we're both. I think we're both kind of like whatever.
So I loved Superman during the Death of Superman era in the comics, like in the
I have fond feelings for Superman. Like I like Superman,
but he's not my favorite. No. So anyway, Superman Legacy.
We're not Seinfeld level.
They are absolutely correct though that Superman is a core person, it makes zero sense to be building a DC universe. I'm just confused why Henry Cavill couldn't have been this person, given that the DC legacy. Go ahead.
So here's my take on it. I
Yeah.
honestly don't think Henry Cavill was particularly interested in continuing to be Superman.
He quit The Witcher, Dave. He quit The Witcher for this.
I mean, I don't know if you've been watching what The Witcher's been happening lately. It's fucking garbage. Like, they have gone so far away from, because I deeply love The Witcher intellectual property, and they've gone so far, pardon the expression, off the reservation. Like, they've just blatantly spit in the face of all of the source material, which I know for a fact Henry Cavill is a big fan of and loves, and has been documented being on set being like, this is what's in like the games and books of The Witcher. And he has been a force within the thing trying to be like, we should be more like what's in the story. And they're like, nah, we're doing this. I can see why he would be like, no, I don't want to do this. But he has his 40K, which is the thing that's most dear and near, his 440,000 show coming out. That's what he loves. That's the hobby he's been heavily invested in.
Okay, so you think the narrative that he put forth, literally, that he was quitting to do Superman, was always crap.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think he's hated what has been done to Superman. I think he's hated what's been done to The Witcher. And he's just like, I'm happy to be, he's never going to say it because he's part of the, thing, but he's just like, I'm glad to be done with all this because what you did to this character is terrible. And I'm going to go make my 40K TV series that he has a deal with.
But he could have said that. Like, that was what he could. So, but the thing is, he quit Witcher before James Gunn was named.
He doesn't want to say that because he wants to, he's like, I would love to work for Warner Brothers again someday. So I'm not going to be like, what you did was terrible. And this,
so you don't think that the pre-James Gunn people maybe had a deal with him?
I mean, I expect if there was a contract, he would honor it. I don't know. They probably did.
No, I don't think there was a contract. I think it was a handshake agreement, but then regimes changed, right? And regimes change. Like, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, you will not hear Henry Cavill say anything bad because I think he understands that regimes change and you're rebooting, and that's fine. But
I don't think he liked or appreciated that version. I don't think he agreed with Zack's.
No, I think he was excited about potentially where Superman Legacy, the film that James Gunn is writing, he probably would have loved where that is because that's modeled after the comic series. Superman Man of Tomorrow is where all the pictures are coming from, which is a comic series.
I think he gets the, we're gonna just do,
I think he gets it.
You have to do a whole clean, So,
but I
don't think he wants to rock the boat.
think when he quit The Witcher, he thought he was quitting for Superman.
Yeah, but I mean, also, like, I don't know if you watch any of the recent The Witcher season 3 or The Witcher whatever, the Blood. Like, oh my god, it's so bad, Paul.
No, I haven't. So I've only watched up to the last thing that Henry Cavill was in, not the new stuff. So yeah,
even the third season that Henry Cavill is, it's atrocious. And it's like if you read the books and know The Witcher,
all right,
it's not. It's not.
All
and
right,
I know he's even kind of like semi-hinted in shows that he's like, I really don't like what they're doing with the story and the character. And so I think he was very happy to kind of like, I'm out. This is bad.
Superman Legacy, Superman Legacy. It looks like it's based on Superman World of Tomorrow, I think is the title of the comic series. A very positive, upbeat, back to Superman being the naively optimistic, like just that's going to be the character trait,
which is what he should be.
He's what he should be. So just naively fine. I don't know. I'm excited that James Gunn is writing it personally because that man can do no wrong. If he made me care about Peacemaker, great, go for it. What I more care about, of course, is going to be Brave and the Bold. So Brave and the Bold.
Because you're a deep, deep Batman.
More than because I'm a deep, deep Batman fan, I care more about Robin than I care about Batman, as you know.
Ooh. So what do you think about the idea of being like, we're focusing on Damian rather than
Grace? So, first of all, I do not.
I don't know how many people are still left in the chat. But you know what? This is who we are. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can. The Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd versions of, like, you cannot, on a film in modern day have Batman be even partially responsible human being and send a 10-year-old out to do what he does, right? Like, that's just not a thing. Those people, but Damien is different. Damien has been trained to be an assassin from the moment he could breathe.
Yeah.
So Damien can be 11, 12, 13, 14, however they decide. They probably will age him up to probably to 12 or 14 or something. That it's not what I would choose personally as a lover, as a person who adores the Robin character, identifies with the Robin character. But Damien is the only one of the four that makes, and I know there's other Robins. Damien is one of the main four that makes sense. So I'm on board. I'm hoping, though, that means that it's a older Batman, and that the other Robins also still exist. That this isn't the first. I hope that this isn't the first Robin. So
no, it's like they still keep Dick Grayson. I mean, yet Todd and like whatever.
But they don't have to. They don't have to address any of that directly in the first film. They can.
Grayson has to exist.
Grayson has to exist. Drake and
because
Todd
even
don't
as
have
as,
to.
as a non DC guy, it's like the one DC property I've always loved is Batman, and I have a shit ton of Batman comics floating around. The relationship, the incredibly complicated relationship between Grayson and Bruce Wayne, as he becomes Nightwing and like that's deep, rich, story mine that you can pull forever.
Right.
Yes. So long as Dick Grayson exists in the universe, even if he's Nightwing by this point.
Yeah. Like that's what
you can still.
You don't even need to have it for this first Brave and the Bold movie. All you have to do is have general nods and not preclude it. Not write anything in the script that excludes that from happening, and that's probably fine. Anyway, I'm excited for that.
That's amazing models. Yeah.
But
the two things I'm most excited about are the Creature Commandos and Swamp Thing.
Okay, so
which are
definitely
two. I've always loved the
you're jumping ahead, but Swamp Thing is the thing I would agree with you. Is the thing I'm most
one of the greatest comics that's ever been,
with the possible exception of the Viniskiran. If they're literally trying to say we are the same company that is HBO, we're making an HBO Game of Thrones series that is the island where Wonder Woman was born, Viniskiran.
Yeah, and
it is literally a series where there are no male protagonists at all.
Yeah.
And we are exploring what now. Maybe they're fighting the Atlanteans because that's their traditional villain. Like whatever. Like maybe that's all there. But that is super cool to me. So I'm just setting that aside. But no, you're right. Like the Swamp Thing is definitely like. And plus they're saying, you know how we're going to differentiate ourselves? We have R-rated content. That's how they're differentiating themselves from Marvel.
Yeah. What do you think of this idea that's like, you can have animated movies and live action movies. DC's always done good animated movies. Like people, if you go back and watch a lot of the DC animated stuff, it's like it's very good.
Yes,
better than the Marvel animated by, like, there's literally no comparison between.
That's correct. If you're comparing on the animated side, it's no comparison.
Yeah, but whatever Marvel is, the live action, whatever we all get it. Where he's like, you can, same voice, actor plays the voice of the cartoon, it's all the same continuity. You go back and forth between the two, so we can do these animated things and still within the DCU and come back, and this is all part of the same. I mean, that potentially it feels like they're swinging for the fences. Like if it works, this will be amazing. But boy, they're setting high bars.
Maybe like so, but I don't know if you watched Marvel What If, I assume.
Oh, Eddie Dean, you just stop with that. But anyways, sorry.
Marvel What If, uses some of the same actors for the characters, and then they use sound alikes, And I'm guessing DC is going to get to that point too, where it's like, you know what? We signed famous actor X to be like a certain character, and they're not willing
Not
to.
even. It's not even the voice. I've always felt that like the DC animated stuff, most of it, not 100%, but most of the DC animated, this is written and done by people who get it, who read the comics, who understand these characters, who have the same kind of passion for these stories that we have. That get what is great about them. The live action do not. This is that you can just see the fingerprints of like corporate.
Yeah, so you're on the same
Warner
page as
Brothers
me.
all
Is that
over it, right.
like I was where I was going was I don't actually care if the actors are the same.
No,
what
but
I
just
care
the
about.
idea that you could have like you can carry on stories in the animated, but what's happening in animated is like this is all universe. So this is just part 2 and 3 of the story, not necessarily like these are completely separate things.
No, I
so you
I
can do these animated movies for
I love that
cheaper.
in the realm of the other thing that they've done. This is genius, and is probably going to set them apart from Marvel. So, like, this could be a golden age for us, Dave, where Marvel is thriving and DC is thriving. If both are thriving, it's great. DC is also saying we have Elseworlds. We have Joker, Part 2 is going to be in Elseworlds, and the Matt Reeves Batman is in Elseworlds. Marvel does not have at this point any concept of Elseworlds.
No, I mean they like the whatever that animated. What you said it already forgot the name.
What If is tied in. What If is directly tied into.
But that's because Marvel's already introduced the idea of the multiverse, which is always
right. But the Doctor Strange
this is real in another world.
But the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness has direct nods to the animated What If show. So they would never say that What If is an Elseworlds. What if is just the multiverse. So but whereas DC is literally saying we're going to tell you full stories that are never going to be connected to the main continuity.
Which I will say, Elseworlds DC comics were oftentimes my favorite.
Yes.
DC comics.
So
right?
the most delicious thing that anyone has said is, well, what if Henry Cavill just comes back and plays Red Sun?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be so good.
So good.
The premise of Red Sun is that what if Kal-El landed in Russia instead of America?
Yeah.
And it's so
and became a fully communist, Stalinist propaganda. Yeah.
So good. Anyway, I want to sign off soon, but I want to just say one last thing. I think Supergirl, the Supergirl movie, that we have is the one thing we haven't. There's many things we haven't talked about, but that is also potentially delicious because the way James Gunn describes Supergirl, never been not anyway, as far as I know, been described in the comics. So Kal-El landed on Earth and was loved.
Yes.
Supergirl is going to be the same story, but not loved. What happens if that character lands somewhere and has no ground? And it's like that, because traditionally, Supergirl is just the same story, but a girl.
Yeah.
But this let Supergirl be like, no, you have all those same powers, but none of the grounding, none of the wholesome upbringing.
Did you ever watch Brightburn?
No.
So, do you know what that is?
No.
So that is a movie James Gunn made. This is it's a movie. It was in theaters. And it's essentially what if Superman was evil.
Oh, cool.
So it's like a 10-year-old boy. So it's it's Superman. It's 100% like he calls himself Brightburn, but it's like, what if he's just evil? It's kind of invincible. So he's just like, nah, I'm gonna rule the world, and I'm fucking Superman. So, what are you gonna do about it? It's a horror movie. Like it's a straight.
Awesome! I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so
my dark horse of like the project that might be great, like, is this Supergirl project. The Supergirl projects that they scrapped, sounded boring, and the way they did Supergirl on CW, boring. But this actually sounds cool. I'm excited about the Lanterns being compared to
True Detective.
True
Like if it's like in a
Detective.
procedural cop kind of thing
Right.
in some ways,
Like
I'm
that's pretty cool.
Where it's like you have all these powers, but it's like no, you have to actually put these clues together and like powers don't help you because you have to actually solve this
right
mystery.
Like that's pretty cool.
Could potentially be amazing.
Right. So anyway, I feel like this has been teed up in a way that legitimately there's a legitimate reason for the MCU to be what it is, and I love it. But for the DC universe to be what it is going to be, and it will not be synonymous or interchangeable. It will be its own thing, too. And I feel like that's just good. That's a win for everybody. So that's where I'm at. I'm cautious.
James Gunn
so I'm
legitimately loves DC Comics and the characters for what. So that's why it's like potentially this could be great because this is a man who understands what it is about these characters that is so cool.
I mean, Peacemaker. If he hadn't have made Peacemaker, I don't think I'd be as excited because just the Guardians of the Galaxy alone and Suicide Squad 2 alone. Suicide Squad 2, but that alone wouldn't have done it.
Paul,
but
you should watch Brightburn and you should watch what's it called? Superhero? There's a movie he made with I can't remember the characters Frick about it's kind of like it's like just normal people who become vigilante superhero kind of people.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. Way back before he made Super. It's just called Super. That's the one.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
with the guy who played Dwight from The Office, whose name I can't remember.
Rainn Wilson.
Yes, Rainn Wilson and Elliot Page, who at the time was Elliot Page.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
Oh.
It's kind of like Kick-Ass, but
okay.
It's watch those and you'll probably.
But I was just gonna say, but he took the worst character. Like, hey, Suicide Squad 2, give me the worst, least relatable character that you got. Worse than Weasel, worse than the remote arms guy. So give me Peacemaker, and I'm going to give you a series that is going to be like just the most amazing thing you've seen. So, anyway. James Gunn, I am, but I also like he's touching on the thing when Marvel makes a bad movie. I'm like, fine, because I don't love that source material. DC, I love the source material, so I am.
Yeah, he's swinging for the fences. So
he's swinging for the fences,
or it will be.
That's right. So
bad.
My heart is potentially going to be ripped from me, but that's fine. Yep. We are now. We're going to throw it down Mel's hole, and I think we need to transfer this to another channel at this point. But Dave, my pleasure. Thank you for everyone who stuck with us. Probably half an hour ago, people left, but that's fine.
That's fine. You know.
And we'll.
They got their money's worth.
That's right. And we'll. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Later. Goodbye.